Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than red counters and a slice of cake. But first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act. But people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pasco, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. Would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
Welcome to Guerrilla Cricket and to match number 4 in the T20 leg of this white ball series between India and Brendan McCullum's rebooted England. Today it's Pune, which was once home to India's tallest family apparently. Ben Duckett must be aware of that fact, I'm sure. The series stands 2-1 to India with 2 to play. And whilst so far it hasn't been the run-scoring extravaganza we've been led to expect, it has been an interesting clash between vastly different approaches. India bamboozling England with spin whilst the tourists look to blast back with pace. England have had a horrible tendency to fall apart against spin, so today they will need both their batting and bowling to be at the best if they are to stop India nailing the series. Opening up for us today are a manager's dream of both youth and experience. It is representing one part of that equation, and I'm not going to say which. It's Billy Wiz. Billy Wiz. How are you, Billy?
I'm alright, thank you. Good to be back. I haven't been on yet this series, so
well,
it's nice to see you all.
We've missed you, but we'll aim more carefully next time. And Messy Jez, as ever.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be introduced as the youth wing of guerrilla cricket. It's fantastic.
Lord help us.
Because Billy's got lots of experience.
Well, there you are. I didn't say which was which, did I?
I was just wondering, guys, do either of you two know that theme tune off by heart?
The what, sorry?
Having heard it so many times. Do you reckon
I'm not going to sing
the
it,
theme tune off by heart?
Very near enough, I think. We sing it in our sleep. Not together, I might point out. Right. Okay, toss and team news. That's what we're going to have to talk about immediately. And England, for the first time in this little series, have actually won the toss, and they have chosen to field. They did manage to get over the line last time, batting first, but it's no surprise that they will do that. We'll give you the teams. A couple of changes. India, Sanju Samson, Abhishek Sharma, Sirikumar Yadav, Tilak Varma, all as expected. Hardik Pandya as expected. Shivam Dubey back into the reckoning, which wasn't expected. Rinku Singh, Axar Patel, Arshdeep Singh, Ravi Bishnoi, and the quite excellent, and we'll come on to talk to him in a little bit, Vaman Chakravarti. England, again, pretty much as expected, with one, I think, enforced change. Slightly hapless Phil Salt, giant Ben Duckett, captain Joss Butler, Harry Brook, Liam Livingstone, Jacob Bethel comes in, Jamie Overton, Bryden Cast, Jofra Archer, Adil Rashid, who was magnificent in the last game. Oh, and there is another change which I wasn't expecting. Looks like Mark Wood is being given a blow out in the paddock, and in his place comes Mahmood. So, chaps, with all of that said, Billy, are England doubling down on pace because they don't have spin options?
I think there could definitely be an argument to be made for that. I mean, Rashid was just awesome and is awesome, England's greatest ever white ball bowler, in my opinion. So they're definitely relying on him to have a big game. I think Bethel being brought in is a little bit of a spin option, but the thing is, pace isn't everything. I mean, Archer's been given a little bit of tap so far throughout this series, and it's really good to see Saqib Mahmood in the 11 after all the injury problems that he's had.
Well, thank you for
I'd
that.
I'd agree with some of that. Really agree entirely about getting Saqib Mahmood in. Although Archer's going for a lot of runs, I think the truth is that Wood and Archer's pace has unsettled India at the top. And even if they haven't taken that many wickets, I think it's shaken them a bit in terms of their confidence in themselves. So
I thought you were heading towards a Salt
it's an
joke
interesting
there.
strategy.
With the shaking, but
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm going to have to
Sorry about
stop you there, Messrs, experienced as you are, because I'd like you to devote your attention to this.
Super chat.
Oh, I take you by surprise. I cue him up, but he's not there. Do you want
He's
me
off
to
his game.
He's off his game. He's where he is. He's not up with the
So
pace.
who did you try to click?
Right, Muttley. Can you see Muttley there? 5 of our
I
fantastic
can.
English
Sorry,
pounds.
super chat. Yes, I beg your pardon. I was distracted. Muttley has sent us a super chat. You're a fucking legend, Mutt. He sent us £5. Says, "Woof, afternoon, primates. No food porn today. Sorry, Messi. It's Friday, chippy tea day. Kicking off the bidding at £5. Love and all sausages. We're not actually selling 100 team, but if you've got £5, you'd probably be able to buy the Welsh Fire for that."
And barbecue
Which
the
you're
sausages on it.
I just
quite
had one-
appropriate for you, Matt.
One last thing just on team selection before we get
Yes.
underway. I think you mentioned quickly Phil Salt having a terrible series. I mean, Joe Root, I was messaging it in our WhatsApp chat. Joe Root just has to be in this T20 side, and this series has really showed why. He doesn't necessarily have to open, but I mean, it's absurd. He's our best batsman of all time, and that does transfer to T20s, as we've seen with the Pearl Royals in South Africa.
Oh, all right. Anyway, we're at the Maharashtra Cricket Stadium in Pune. England are going to open the bowling. They are, no surprise, going to open up with Jofra Archer. So we will give him a little welcome in a second. But he's over the wicket now. He's in, and it's defended first ball. And there will be no run. Where is Jofra? Here he is.
He will break your helmet, break your heart. Hotter than lava.
Swing, bit of swing as well. Came back in.
Face, at your stumps, on your toes, on your mouth.
Like the look of that ball, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that might be the first time I've heard the Archer theme tune.
Ah,
I have to
well,
say,
there you
which
go.
you
Two
know,
slips.
it's always good to see him bowl. Someone who makes bowling look absolutely effortless. Yeah,
No,
well,
just,
only
sorry, one slip.
One
One slip.
in. There was
In
a bit
comes
of
Archer
movement in that
over
first
the
ball.
wicket, down leg, a little waggle before Salt takes it. The umpire spreads his wings wide, and it is the first score on the board. Not a run, but a wide. I can't be bothered to jingle it. I had a nightmare getting here.
I did
Literally
go on.
every traffic light, every junction, every corner, someone was deciding to do some roadworks.
How long should the drive take?
For 50 minutes to an hour, and it took about an hour and 40 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, here I am, Sanju Samson, and he's cut this. It's half stopped at backward point, and they will nip through for a single. Add 2 to the score.
Really good fielding that from Ben Duckett. He got down quickly at points.
Well,
and
low centre of
managed to
gravity,
save
some
off.
would
Didn't have
say.
far to go.
Yes.
just it was a backward point, a one hand, almost a parry round the post.
Well, he got a round of
And
applause.
Butler appreciating that.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a round of applause from his captain. He's looking happy now. He's trying to look cool and calm and collected, but he knows he did a good job there.
England have left a big gap kind of through mid-wicket here, so Archer is obviously not looking to bowl too straight. You would think that therefore he's more looking for an edge as opposed to the LBW.
Well, but he is getting in swing, and certainly the first ball swung in quite dramatically, and then sort of also climbed a little bit. He's coming around the wicket though to the left-handed Abhishek Sharma, who's up onto his toes, and there's Duckett again. The man's unstoppable. Diving once more.
That's the 2
save
best
the run.
pieces of fielding we've seen from the England side in the last 24 hours.
Well, tell you what.
Considering the women's side have been so awful. in
You
that department.
you beat me to it. If they're looking at the women for guidance, that's not a high bar. What was it? 7 drop catches. Oh my lord!
Yeah,
8, I reckon. 'Cause, the next one, we got another super chat, by the way.
Archer in. Yes, I saw that. A swing and a miss by Abhishek. Archer grimaces. It's through to Salt. There's no run. He gave himself room, did Abhishek. Step back. But it was just a bit too quick for him. So just the single and the wide from these first 5 balls. Good start for England. Just what they would have wanted.
Has Archer's pace been up with what it usually is? I've been listening to a lot of the series with you guys, but has his pace been the kind of standard mid 140s?
I think it
Yes,
has.
yes, it
And
has.
He's certainly
Yeah.
been like Wood has been quicker.
Yep.
But he Wood is quicker, which most people seem to forget.
Anyway,
Yep.
around the wicket he comes again. Abhishek's launched this. It's high. It's deep. It's over the point boundary. The crowd at Pune are on their feet, and a rather good opening over has been a bit spoilt by that one because it's the first maximum. Here it is.
Smack it in the air. Beyond the boundary. Smack it in the air.
Which gives us a chance
Maximum.
at the end of the over to go back to Messers for another one of these.
Super chat.
Oh, is it the end of the over?
There is another ball.
No.
Yeah, it was another ball because the wide, and actually that's been drilled past mid-off. Ben Duckett. No, was it Duckett or was it? No, it was Livingston.
Was it Livingston? Yeah.
Livingston went pacing after it, and when there was literally no chance that he was going to catch it up, he decided to put in a dive anyway. A bit like one
Like
of
a
the
kid on a water slide.
Well, yeah, I was literally thinking of that game we used to play as kids when you put bin bags down and then you put water on the
Yeah.
bin bags and you just
Yeah.
fling yourself onto them. That's kind of what he looked like. Anyway, Messers.
Yes, so I'm very pleased to say that Philip Shaw has sent us €5.99. Says, opening with the bishops, an illegal move in chess. Good point, but fortunately we're rebels. We don't abide by the rules.
Well, it's not a physically
Thank
possible
you so
move,
much,
is it?
Philip.
You can't
Yeah.
actually do it because all the pawns are in the way.
Yes.
That's
He says,
such
"Wonderful
a
to
good
see you."
analogy for my life. You want to do so much and there's just these people in the way just stopping you doing it. That's just a fact of life. Right. We're going to
Messers
see
All
on-
your pawns.
I don't know what the GPL is, but I was about to say before that last fall that I think this could be a pretty high scoring game.
Yeah,
today.
the GPL is at £47 at the moment, so yeah, get in. It's
Oh,
been
that's-
gradually growing, mainly courtesy of me, but
You've got 45
I-
minutes. 45
I think this
minutes.
is I think this is a 180 plus aside game. I reckon.
Ooh.
I'm saying. Or at least
Yeah.
definitely India first innings. It could be 200.
Right, Mahmood, first ball of this series, and it's short and it's pulled away. He's going to get a wicket. First ball, he is. It's down to deep backward square. I think it's Harry Brook who's taken that. And would you believe it, such is the way. It wasn't even a particularly good ball, Billy, but it was short. It rather cramped him. It was pulled away by Sampson straight down the throat of deep backward square. And England have their first wicket. It is 12-4-1.
That's an absolute half tracker. If Gorilla's motto "shit gets wickets" is very apt there, that's proper loosener from Saqib Mahmood, kind of half tracker. Sanju Samson could have put it absolutely anywhere.
Well, there was also a very blue-looking wall of Indian fans who were all up on their feet, going, "He's nailed this! Oh shit!" And they all sat back down again. 12-4-1. Message, do you want to catch us up on some more messages while you got the chance?
So Leah says hello everyone. Parrot Badger says hi old sorts and sea dogs. Muttley says given a blowout in the paddock. That's for wood. Ooh, click here. He also says I have no idea what we're actually bidding on. It's a blind auction. Dara Zizi says hi all. Farong says greetings all. Hope everyone's well. Ashley Partridge says hi everyone today. And Muttley says I was worried where the Bishop was going with all that. With that, all porn gets in your way. Oh dear, yes.
Well, I was thinking definitely PAWN, if that's any help.
Well, yes.
As in porn broker.
I assumed, yes.
Not broken by porn, which would be something completely different. 12-1. Mind you, there is my alter ego, of course, who is in that industry, as you well know. On Twitter. I don't know, he may have retired. And that one is Edge. He's going to get another. He has. It's been Edge first ball by Tilak Varma. He has 2 in 2 for 2 not particularly good balls. It was Edge down to third man. Archer took it on the dive. Tilak's gone. It's 12 for 2. Crikey.
Hang on. Is Archer sure about it? He didn't necessarily get off.
Yeah, I think he is. It looks.
Sure?
Everybody else is.
Yeah, it looked good to my eye, but his reaction was slightly odd. I wondered if he was.
No, that's fine.
It might have bounced into
if you combine the eyes of Messrs and I, your eyes are probably about 140 years younger than both of ours.
Well, I was lucky. I just got a delayed replay here, so yeah, that's fine. That's a good catch. Actually.
Can you imagine the team talk for Saqib Mahmood then? Right, Saqib, I want you to come in and bowl a couple of absolute half-track shit balls, and they'll take wickets. Ooh, we've got a T-shirt for that. He's done it twice.
Yeah,
you need to buy 2.
Yes, I tell you what though, if an England player had played that shot, the bear would be exploding in the green room right now. That was a dreadful piece of batting.
It was poor.
The thing is though, mate, if he murders it over, the problem with all this, if he murders that over cover for 4, it's an amazing shot. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to disagree with the bear, because I might have a very angry bear coming at me, but I don't think
nobody wants that.
Necessarily that poor of a shot. Good fielding position.
First ball.
I never even had the chance to jingle them up, did I? Let's jingle up the new man. It's going to be the man who goes by the name of Sky. Not necessarily in this neck of the woods. What kind of complete pie can Mahmood serve up to try and get his hat-trick? Let's find out.
Hat-trick ball.
Here it comes. 2 slips. There are 2 slips now. It's full, it's straight, and it's defended to short mid-wicket. The not insubstantial form of Bryden Cast is in the way, and it's a dot ball. Wicket, dot ball. What a start for Saqib Mahmood. 1 caught down at deep backward square, 1 edged to third man, and 1 stoutly defended.
That Jofra Archer catch is really good effort. He came in, and it's always a tricky one because you need to dive full length. Because if you kind of dive half length, your elbows are going to hit the ground first.
Over the wicket, defended again, and that ball. It's it's interesting that given the conversation we were having that are England going all pace because the spin options just aren't there. Right now, at the moment, the pace looks pretty useful, Billy.
Well, there's definitely a decent amount of carry in the pitch. It looks like. So we'll have to see. But yeah, Archer did well because he dove full length. He just stuttered and then made sure he got a big dive in and took it well.
It's a beautiful ground at Pune. I do like some of the.
I should point
architecture of the
out that
stands.
each wicket has fallen just after we've done a super chat.
Well, there is another one that's defended again by Surakuma Yadav. Again, it's pushed out to Cast, and again, there's no run. Yes, Messrs.
And we have another super chat
Here it
for
comes.
€5 from Richard Milgate, just because, he says. Thank you so much, Richard.
Super chat.
Well, Richard, thank you very much indeed. We're delighted to have your company. We will update you as much as we can on studio news, which the last I heard was we do have an offer on the studio for the Bear, which means we will go into overdrive on studio selection.
Yes.
And if you're a patron, there'll be a message to update you on all that coming very soon. If you're not a patron,
England
do join us and become one.
Sorry, Chen. England have got a short leg and 2 slips in, emphasising the pace.
They
in
do.
the pitch. I think,
And that's taken, would you believe it? He's flicked a particularly,
See,
not a
another
particularly
super
great
chat
ball.
worked.
Another super chat has taken. It's a hat trick, 4 super chats. It's 3 wickets in an over for Saqib Mahmood. I reckon if you ask him in the interview after what kind of balls were you trying to bowl to get those 3 wickets, I don't think any of them were the ones he thought they were going to be. That seemed to be slightly over pitch, but it was flicked and flicked straight to, was it Cars again at mid-on? I think it was.
Yeah, a very short mid-on. I mean, I don't really know where he was trying to put it, to be honest. It's 2 brilliant pieces of captaincy by Butler to put fielders there, to be honest.
By and large, they say, don't they, if you lose 3 wickets in the power play, you're in trouble. India have lost 3 in just the second over of the day. They've lost Surakumar Yadav. He's got his helmet tilted back, his bat behind his hand. They're 12 for 3 and in a bit of a messers.
Yeah, well, he's made bugger all runs this whole series, Surakumar. So Ashley Partridge said just before the first wicket, England need early wickets. Then he says Mahmood should be a test pick. Someone get him in the test team. Let's get a hat-trick, he says. Come on, England, says Arthur Connell. Great start. And Farang says, need amendment to the laws of the T20 game. If the batter is not jingled before dismissal, they must be recalled.
Keep us on our toes. Right. Abhishek Sharma has been watching the carnage from the other end, but he's going to get to face Jofra Archer now as the tall left-hander. And it's defended down into the ground. In dashes, I can't quite see who that is from point, and they'll take a single.
The conundrum India have here, which would be interesting to see how they go about it, is, what score do they try and get to? As I said earlier, this looks like a really good pitch.
Well, Rinku Singh, don't forget, has made a few runs already.
Yeah, I know. I almost think that they're just going to, as you'd expect, keep going really hard at this and try and push themselves up to kind of 170, because if they just knock it around and get to 140, then I think that's pretty futile, although you never know with England's batting.
I was gently playing the Rinku Singh jingle under your words of wisdom there, Billy, so as not to override them, but it's going to be he who's going to face this ball, and he dabs it beautifully down to third man where Adil Rashid awaits. Not the 45 this time, well, kind of the 45, but much deeper, and kind of a long leg for a right-hander, but third man for a left-hander, which is where he is. So they'll take another single. It has been
really nice
some
line.
start.
Yeah, really nice line that from Archer. That's almost a test match kind of line, top of off, really. And I think that's exactly where he needs to be on this pitch. It does seem to be hitting the bat quite hard. There's certainly seems to be quite a bit of pace in it, especially with this hard.
You really need to have control with pace, though, in T20, of course, because the ball can fly, particularly in power play. That's down leg, half stopped by a tumbling Salt. And they'll take a single, but they probably... Did they get a bat on that? Given us a leg by.
I think it would have just flicked his pad or hip on the way through, really.
Stopped it being a wide, at least.
He moved over as well across his crease, so the wide line would have shifted. Archer just trying to shove it down the leg side as he moved over to the offside.
15 for 3.
An amazing start. I didn't see this coming at all, I have to say.
Well, I don't think in his wildest dreams, if you'd have asked Saqib Mahmood, he will have seen it coming. Archer in, up onto his toes, beautifully stopped by. It's that man again. He is on fire in the field. It's Ben Duckett. Low centre of gravity, or whatever you want to say, but there's another superb stop.
A lot of pressure you put on a team comes from your fielder. And Duckett in particular, England so far have fielded fantastically.
Certainly
and that
have.
just keeps the pressure up on India here.
Well, I think it was the first of this series that they dropped a couple, and they were at key times. I remember Adil Rashid dropped one. People can correct me, it may have been the second game rather than that. That's lovely footwork by Rinko Singh, who opens his shoulders, angles the drive away through extra cover, and will get himself 4 splendid runs.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Wonderfully quick hands by Rinku Singh. I think that's one of the... I mean, you can say it about so many of the modern players, but him in particular, throughout this, his hands are so fast.
What does Jofra Archer have? Around the wicket he comes. He has a short ball for Rinku, who ducks underneath it. It's a dot ball to finish the over. The score moves on to 19 for 3 after just 3 overs, and we can go back to the weather cave for some more messages.
Farong says, this shite bowling gets wickets, and still the lad, Duckett, hasn't been thrown the ball. Some questions about Patreon and how much the studio would cost. The studio is going to cost us more than we're getting in at the moment, which is problematic for us. So, which is why we're so keen to have people to go to patreon.com/Guerrilla Cricket. If you go there, you'll see the various options for tiers of membership, starting really low and moving up depending on what you can afford.
Hold your breath, because it's Mahmood who's in. Oh, there's a swing and a miss by Abhishek Sharma. It's through to Salt. And the boarding house scrape of butter between the bat's edge and the ball there, and it could have been 4 for him with Billy.
Yeah, it's a nice delivery, back of a length again from Saqib Mahmood. That seems to be the plan England have gone with, going over the wicket rather than the around the wicket approach that we saw from Jofra Archer. And he's just kind of trying to angle it across these 2 left-handers.
And he's lively enough as well, isn't he? He's not the same
2
pace.
slips waiting.
That's driven through cover this time. Will get him 4 runs. First boundary off Saqib Mahmood, who'd been too busy taking
first runs off him.
But is it first runs? It is as well, you're dead right.
Yes.
Goodness me. Let's give one of Mog's splendid 4 jingles a bit of an airing. Here you go. Poor old Mog. He sent me rather forlornly 3 test match women's test jingles. Said, I know you're not doing it, but have them anyway. You might need them sometime. That's another swing and a miss through to Phil Salt. No run.
That 4 from Abhishek's an absolutely wonderful shot, and I've mentioned it a little bit so far, but that just shows the true nature of the pitch. It was a really nice push through the covers. He barely had to touch it, straight off the middle of his bat and flew.
Well, it just shows you it's all about timing, Billy, doesn't it? Because I mean, the one that got in the 4 seemed to have the least effort. The balls either side of that were big swing, big heave-hoes, both of which he didn't connect with, and yet the one where he seemed to have much more time was the one that got him the runs. Mahmood again, that's driven again, that's rinse and repeat. I don't know, oh, it will have the legs, yes it will. Very much a similar shot, slightly wider off cover, but 4 runs it is, and it was another gorgeous 4 runs too.
Giuliani had his reasons for selecting his landscape seasons. There were
27 for 3. 8 off this Mahmood over, the only 8 runs he's conceded after that extraordinary first over. 3 wickets in it, remember, all 3 that have fallen so far. That's slightly gets on top of that. It rolls to Archer this time, and he'll get himself a single. 28 for 3, and it will bring a rinky dinky doo Singh back onto strike.
Sorry, Tony, the early swing that we saw a little bit from Jofra Archer has dissipated, so I wonder it'll be pretty quickly we see what he might do now, go to a bit of cross seam and it'll be interesting to see what Butler is going to do, because they usually don't like to bowl your seamers 3 overs on the spin in the power play because they just get lined up. But I don't know. Do you think they're going to make it? I think Archer will definitely be taken.
Well,
out
let's just have a quick look at the field here for the last.
I don't know.
ball.
They bowled him 4 overs straight in the first one, I think, and then 3 overs in the second. There was certainly, because the ball loses so much.
In comes Mahmood
and
to the
swings
left-hander.
quickly.
He's beaten him. Rinku's feet were rooted on that. I think he was in 2 minds. Was he going to try and cut it, feather it down to third man? He ended up missing it. It's the end of the over. It's 27 for 3, and we go back to Messers.
Parrot Badshaw says, raclette on slices of toast. I'm not providing images, but it is delicious. Ashley says, is the bear not around today? Yes, he is. He'll be with us from over 6. Muttley says, no, go to join Patreon if you haven't already, and post it on the Discord for the food porn fix. For me, that is. Leah says, I guess I'll change over to the laptop and the other account again. Were you having problems with your computer, Leah? It happens.
It does. 28 for 3.
I should say that I'm not checking Twitter anymore. We get very few things on Twitter, and it is such a shit show.
There is
that
some
I've
on Blue
decided
Sky, though.
I'm not
Wide
gonna-
and cast. There is a change of bowling. He's been slapped to deep backward point, but there's a fielder down there. It looked like Jacob Bethel to me. First action that I can recall from him. It's a single from a cast.
Cast is one of the bowlers. It's an interesting one for me because I've slightly changed my tune on him, and his performance has been wonderful in an England shirt over the last 6 months. But he's someone that I wasn't necessarily that keen to see in an England shirt. I don't know whether it was his betting scandal, just some of the things you'd heard about him, but he's a really impressive bowler, great stature, quick, and it's been really good to watch him bowl in this series. And
Well, also he's
and
proven
in-
he's useful down the order to have a thrash and get England out of a hole with the bat, which is a very handy commodity to have. Just the one slip now. That's full, dug out, but dugs it out straight to point, and there will be no run. Rinku. For some reason, I thought Rinku Singh. I must be confusing Rinku Singh with someone else, because as far as I'm aware, this is his first game in this series, isn't it? I've got him down.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I think so.
I've
Yeah.
got him down as. Oh no! Hang on. He didn't bat or bowl in the first game, and then had 2,
right.
and then didn't play in the next 2.
Yeah.
So he got a thanks for coming award, and then a 2-game break. But I think that was largely down to a slight injury. Right, over the wicket, swung, and it's top edged over Phil Salt. Cast has a look back rather menacingly, but it's going to get Rinku 4. You could argue fortunate runs, but if you're going to swing hard, as they say, and it did the job for him.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Has he had a particularly sharp haircut? He was all kind of peroxided in that West Indies series, wasn't
I
he?
think it's for the heat, you'd assume.
Yeah.
Because you don't want long-hand heat. That's one of those to do. Oh, hang on.
33 for 3. Over the wicket comes Cast. He's launched magnificently by Rinku Singh, who's taking the fight back to England. He's piled that away through mid-wicket, and it's 4 more. 37 for 3. Do we have an Andy Ward? Oh, good. Fantastic.
That
It's been riveting stuff so far.
the
India
previous
have,
boundary from Bryden Cast just shows once again how difficult T20 cricket can be for a bowler. It was a nice bouncer.
in comes Cast. Short, ducked under by Rinku. Taken by Salt. There is no run. I think we got a 3-man studio. We have 3, not just 3-man setup, 3 of the finest men you will ever see in a single commentary lineup. I mean, it's just it's a combination of intellect and pure male beauty that is about to descend upon you. Quite extraordinary. I'll just, you get onto YouTube. All I'm saying is, if you're not on YouTube, get on there now, because you're not going to see anything quite like this again. 37 for 3. Over the wicket comes Cast. Driven on the bounce straight to Overton, who's at short cover. It's 5 overs complete. We are due to have a change, so I shall go and have my
I'll do a
lunch.
couple of messages from Blue Sky. Legacy Brian says, hello, fellow cricket simians. I only heard... I'm loving the commentary from Guerrilla Cricket.
We're about to get the
I should say
commentary
it's
equivalent
no
of a boy band.
coincidence-
Here they come.
Yeah. No coincidence that there has not been a fourth wicket, because we have not had a fourth super chat. Each wicket has followed a super chat. We need a super chat if you want another wicket. And I shall leave you there. The next one is from Martley, for whoever is on socials.
Well, if we are a boy band, do you remember Big Fun? They were all blonde and had about 2 hits. I think that's about our status. India are 37 for 3 in the last over of the power play. Here comes Mahmood, who spectacularly took 3 wickets in his first over. Oh, and there's down the wicket scampers the non-striker Rinku, and he's sent back by Archer. There's no run. Now we have Abby in the green room playing the Hendo role.
Yeah.
Doom and gloom for India, but it's not over yet, is it? Oh well, we'll figure that out in a second. Yeah, seeing some wild shots from the Indian oh, there we go. Some wild shots from the Indian batsman. Some off the middle and some off the edge. That's a bit too much on the legs, and Abhishek clips it into the wide open space on the leg side. Looks like... not quite sure. Is that Bethel around? Throws it in, they'll get back for 2.
Yeah, I mean, they've recovered well, haven't they, really? 8 and over nearly. Having lost 3 wickets. The problem is, I guess, is wickets that go down from here on in. It's going to slow things down big time.
Yes, if England can eke out 1 or 2 more...
then
that'll
people who really aren't in form.
Just slow them down a bit on what still looks like a good enough track. It's 39 for 3. Here comes Mahmood, very much the man of the moment. Abhishek tips that one into the leg side again. Goes out to square leg for a single.
Yep, I've got a run out. 20 to 1.
20 to 1. Well, you can't have a collapse without a run out. Them's the rules.
Well, absolutely. That's what I was hoping. After 3 quick wickets, there'd be panic in the side, and another one would go down to a run out.
A comedy run out.
It hasn't happened, so it's unlikely
it doesn't
to
happen.
now.
It doesn't have to be comedy to win the bet. I mean,
No, that's true.
It's just better if it is.
Abhishek, the leading run scorer in this series, although he's had a bit of a start in this innings. He's just overtaken Jos Buttler. Gone on to 139. 4th of a 5-match series. Here comes Mahmood again. So bang into the wickets as he comes in. That's a good ball, top of off stump. It's chopped down by Rinku, but it's straight to Jofra Archer at a short third man.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to change the vision.
So you were a headless voice.
So you can now see a vision in grey and blue as usual.
Absolutely.
I do come in a pink hoodie every now and then just to...
Just throw out the colours, yeah?
Yeah, and what you're listening to us when you could be listening to Ravi Shastri, Kevin Peterson, and actually Murali Kartik's not that bad, but
yeah.
Or apparently 5 Live who are doing it off tube as well.
That's lifted away by Rinku. There's a man out there, but he can only watch it sail past him. Bethel. It goes over backward square leg for 6.
That was a good shot, actually. Worked it well with his wrists.
And no doubt that is what Sanju Samson was hoping would happen when he got a ball on his hip, but he played it straight to the fielder.
So Mahmood's been really glory or
shit or bust.
Shit or bust, absolutely. But you take those 3 wickets all day, even if none of them were maybe earned. But funny things happen. Rinku comes down the track and then rather unattractively just slaps the ball into the ground to complete the power play. It rolls out into the covers. It's a single. India are 47 for 3.
And on YouTube, Muttley says, did somebody mention sausages?
Well, they did now.
Yeah. Park Batshaw says, in biology, the small intestine is like a boundary rope curled up inside the body of the groundsman. Ugh.
Oh, that is rather nasty thought.
You mean like his intestines?
Yeah. Frong says, 2 bears on the vision stream. Oh, is he doing Tony's job?
Yeah, I forgot.
Partly.
I forgot to press the button.
And he also says, the other button has worked for someone. I'm not sure who.
Well, of course, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe.
That's
Yes,
the important. That's the
can
important
you
button.
super chat us because we need another wicket.
Yeah, there are some important things.
We've got a new bowler as well,
Well, yeah,
for the end of the power play.
it is indeed. It's going to be. Where is he?
Is it older slab or younger slab?
I don't know. Jimmy Overton.
Right, I'm over to the left-handed Rinku. It's full. Played out to cover for no run.
And his mother's other son is Jamie Overton.
Because wasn't it famously that Steve Waugh was the elder of the two Waugh twins and never let his brother forget it?
Yes, it's strange how odd that Australians could be completely consumed by petty ego.
Really? You surprise me.
Here comes Overton again. That one's played out. Oh, and it's a bit of a misfield. Let that one through at backward point, but there's a man covering, and it'll just be a single. So actually for Ben Duckett, no harm done really. India are 48 for 3, but 45 of those runs have been scored by these two batsmen, Rinku and Abhishek, with Surya Kumar, Samson, and who else is back in the shack?
Tilak.
Tilak,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
First baller for Tilak, wasn't it?
Yes.
Second baller for Sky.
That one's played down to backward point, and Duckett redeems himself with a diving stop and prevents the run. Yes, if you're joining us late, Saqib Mahmood came in and took 2 wickets with his first 2 balls, and another one in the 6th ball of the over to rather derail this Indian innings, but they're getting it back on track. Nonetheless, England will be very happy with how things are going, and there's a man, Adil Rashid, who I'm sure is going to be bowling very soon.
Yeah, and
he's bowled fantastically.
He
for
has
the series,
4 for
hasn't he?
14, 4 overs for 14, 4 overs for 15 in his previous 2 games.
Oh, he didn't get hold of that one. Oh, went up to Brook at long on, and I thought that was in the air a little while, and Brook didn't go for the teeth breaker low catch.
Well, he's going to argue he didn't see it until it was too late and he couldn't make an attempt at it.
I think that must have been the case, because I'm quite surprised he didn't go and attack that one.
Well, here you go.
Use your bright super chat.
Yep, from Philip Shaw. Wickets, please. Thank you very much.
Doesn't work if you do it on purpose, although it almost did, because Rinku had a little bit of a dip at that one outside off stump.
Jamie Overton has bowled really well so far, I think, in this series.
Closed off the last game, closed it out.
Yeah, he did indeed. But he, it's just everything is going right with his bowling. It's just not his batting.
It's just very straight and jars to bat.
I should know these things. Is he in the Champions Trophy squad?
I don't know.
Probably.
No, we should know those things, but of course we
I'll
don't. We're
look-
Guerrilla Cricket.
I'll look it up in the.
We'll find out on day one.
Yeah. Oh, look, he's playing. Oh, who's that? No worse than Jonathan Agnew. Anyway, that time Rinku pulls out, and Overton's going to have to go back to his mark and start again.
Or any other BBC commentator who doesn't watch county cricket.
Or international cricket. Whatever it is they do all day. I mean, I sit and watch Doctor Who Tom Baker episodes in order all day, but I'm not on the BBC dime. Jamie Overton's in again. It's full, driven with one hand off the bat by Rinku, and because of that it might not reach the boundary. It just does. Economic use of effort by Rinku. It just beats Bethel at extra cover for 4.
Leah says, 2 Bears, 1 Button is not the adult movie you'll be watching later tonight. I can promise you that.
Indeed not.
And Pirate Bachelor says, I love it when comments are read out of context following a crew change.
Context? We don't need no stinking context.
Frong says, a quick GPL forecast? I thought you said GPT forecast there for a minute. You're trying to replace it with the AI.
Now we're on Deep Seek now, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's quite funny. It's
no
quite
football until tomorrow. Paid first day of the month.
It's quite funny. Sam Altman's crew crying that the Deep Seek stole all their data when they stole all their data.
Exactly. I mean,
from Google and
yes.
everywhere
internet.
Well,
Both batsmen on 25 off 17, which is quite pleasing, but it won't be after this ball as the bowler comes in. It's a nice cover drive. Is there a man? No, there's not. That's a lovely shot to welcome this bowler to the crease. Here he is again, it's full again, and it's swept out towards deep mid-wicket. There's a man right there, and it's right into his midriff. Abhishek's just played a beautiful cover drive. Then he had a sweep that he didn't either control or hit hard enough to put it in the crowd. It's gone straight to the man. I can't quite see who it is. Gautam Gambhir looks like Gautam Gambhir usually does, and that's another wicket.
He's been absolutely suckered punched there, because the first ball was a sort of slider that was not intended to spin. The second one is the traditional leggy, and he's just hit it straight down somebody's throat.
Did it maybe dip a bit more than he thought? He thought it was going to be fuller, and then in the end he was reaching for it.
Yeah. But again,
Adil Rashid does it again. Promising innings from Sharma, but he'll be disappointed to get out just as he was getting going. 29 off 19 for him, and India 57 for 4. And this is what we're saying. Once we chip into that middle order and a couple of players who haven't played all that much,
and then the tail.
Then the tail, Hardik, unless Hardik is going to hide even more and Dubey comes in, which is not impossible.
Whilst we're waiting for them to come out, Ombre Neighbour says, afternoon, wonderful GC, chance to level 2-2 with the decider next. Not a bad start, but this is 2020, so not even the gods have a clue what may happen.
Yep.
Well, I didn't get my run out, which is very annoying.
Not that time.
And our own message here says, another super chat strikes.
Oh, I suppose it does. And indeed, hiding Hardik is not coming in. It's going to be Shivam Dubey.
Ah, well, I'm going to have to go and find him. Hold on.
Dubey or Doob? I think I've just called him the Doob.
The Doob.
He's got a slip and a leg slip. And the slip was in play as Rashid threw it up wide and Dubey flashed at it. And that slip, Jos Buttler dived to his left, got a hand on it. Rayan Ahmed gives him a pat on the shoulder, so I guess someone must have wandered off the field.
Well, I've got Prabhim Dubey here.
That's not him.
That's his brother, I think.
Must have a Shivam Dubey. Gee.
Almost threw his hand past that one, Buttler, and it clipped him on the wrist. Bit more controlled, that one from Dubey. Clips it up to long on for a single.
Ah, right, that's because somehow I managed to pick two. Here we go.
You're Shivam Dubey, treat the bowlers roughly. He's got the skills you need and he's quite buff, really. He's hitting sixes, not making duck eggs. So take this guy on if you feel like getting clubbed.
Well, he almost did get a duck egg, and really, T20 or not, that would have been a long way back from India from there. Driven up to long off by Rinku, still there on 25. That's another single. And India are 59 for 4, and England will be very happy. And as Ombre Nuevo says, if they can pull this back to 2-all, we'll have a decider. When that be? Sunday. Yep. And I think England, if England could win this series, that would be a big boost for them. Oh, picked that one up long, Dubey, the big long levers, and he's just clobbered that over mid-wicket, way back for 6.
Wow, that's a long way back.
It is indeed.
Whoa.
That was very loud, wasn't
Thought
it?
I was right in front of the speakers at a metal gig there for a second.
Right. Ashley Partridge says, wicket, yes! And England may bowl them all out for 100. Well, I think that's over-optimism, potentially.
Hopeful, yeah.
And Lair says, neither pronunciation is correct, Andy, so please tell us what...
Well, yes, no, that's half the answer I was looking for.
It's 50 Cent, yes, that gangster.
How else would you pronounce it?
Dub,
yeah, maybe, yeah.
Do they? Maybe the B is a V, who knows?
Right, okay, Joffre's going to come back.
Interesting.
Wasn't expecting that, no.
Trying to finish it off, maybe?
Yeah, smelling blood in the water. He's going to bowl to Rinku on 26. Around the wicket, too much on the pads, and Rinko drops it into the leg side. They're going to look for 2. Assault is after it, but he's there quickly enough. In fact, it's a leg by.
Yeah, some good work by the fielders. As Salt went to chase that, you could see, I think it was Overton running in to cover the stumps.
That's what you want. You know, if you're a batsman and you see 2 or 3 fielders converging on the ball, it makes you a bit less likely to take a chance.
Take a chance on me.
So we'll get striked on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think that 50 Cent one might get striked.
Well, pastiches don't always get
all rap is
struck.
stolen anyway, so I don't. We're back to OpenAI.
Yeah, it's just legal copying of someone else's artwork.
Archer's full. Going for the Yorker is too full. It was a full toss, but even so, Dube couldn't get it past Liam Livingston at mid-wicket, who fires it in at the wicketkeeper and then apologises. Presumably it was a bit wayward.
See, they're on for a score here of 180. It's just all dependent on wickets, really, isn't it?
Well, they've got Hardick still up their sleeves, hidden well up their sleeves, but
he's about it, isn't he?
Yeah, maybe not a ton after that.
Axar, but he didn't impress at all in the last game.
He has batted 5 for India, but I mean, it's probably better than England's 8 and 9, but not that much. Here comes Archer. Onto the pads again. He's not really getting his line right. That might be another leg by. Either way, it trickles down to long leg for a single. Is indeed a leg by.
So you had a drinks break. I'll have a long chat with our listeners.
Yeah, that'll be at 10, won't it?
I imagine it'll be at 10, yeah. 26 of 19 for Rinko. It's pretty good going.
Yeah, it's just where Abhishek was, so obviously he's hoping not to waste that at this point. He didn't really get hold of that, so he's got it down to deep square on the pull. They'll get another single. Just 3 runs from this over so far, 2 of them leg bys.
And this is what England did do well in the last international, is they stopped the boundaries in the middle overs, particularly for Rashid and Overton.
Well, the problem is when you're 4 down with so long to go and only 1 or 2 recognised hitters left, it is a question of shit or bust, isn't it? Do you go for it? And that's what Hendo got really upset with the other day, because England just did keep going for it and didn't get away with it, but they still managed to get to a score. And this is the point, isn't it? You just need to get to a score.
Oh, that's an ugly shot. And that's going to be out. He really this is why England brought Archer back. He was too quick for Dubé. It got up on him around his chest.
Well, no, they're saying, well, the umpire's not giving it out.
I thought that was out. Well, he's pointing at his shoulder and no one looks too excited. Well, okay, you got me that time. I thought that was the shoulder of the bat, but it was the shoulder of Shivam Dubé.
Yeah, I thought it was either shoulder or glove.
Nonetheless, he certainly hurried him there, and they may just feel that these are 2 IPL batsmen who are maybe not that used to genuine pace.
Well, that's the difference, isn't it? You know, all the pomp and circumstance of the IPL, but at the end of the day, it is just a domestic T20 competition.
Well, even in the IPL, every now and then a bowler like Nortje shows people up in the first few overs.
Gingers up a few batsmen.
Yeah, in fact, he didn't get anywhere near that.
No.
Just as well it wasn't in line.
Certainly looked scared, I'll give it.
Oh yeah, it's almost a horizontal bat defensive shot. This time he steps away and Archer follows him. That's not very convincing. Edges it into his pad. Nonetheless, it wasn't a wicket, but it was 2 more dots to Archer. It's only 3 off the over, and India are 68 for 4 off 9.
Frong asked a question: did the cave band take 303, 313 and 322 in the GPL? Just a reminder that the GPL is still open, probably.
Oh, yeah, you got 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute.
Rush.
2:15.
Yep. Lair says it's pronounced like a German would pronounce if it from reading the name. Short E at the end, as in addition to meh.
Duba. I've never heard anybody say that. Not to say you're wrong, but I've never heard anybody say that.
No. I'd like to hear how the Indians pronounce it. Oh, look, we might have a no. No, I don't think that's a no ball. Well, maybe.
Are we on also no balls in this? Yeah, apparently it was. Yeah, okay.
Well, there's nothing behind the line from that. Well, it's all on the white paint.
Right, so this is going to be a free hit for Dubé, which he's perhaps in need of. I would expect him to step away a little bit to this one. See if Archer follows him.
Wide and full.
Yeah, of course he's got to keep the same field, so there's still a shortish leg. Yeah, it's just too quick for him. Dubé goes for a pull shot and it's past him before he really got anywhere near that. Unless that's been called another wide, which it hasn't. That time it is over.
There are no social messages at this point.
Okay. No, well, they'll get round really quick. They've got to have a minute between overs, haven't they, these days, or something stupid like that? Is that the new rule, or is that in test matches?
Goodness knows.
They're trialling it in test matches.
This is half the problem. Every format's got different rules.
Well, yeah. We haven't got any super subs yet, though, in international T20.
There are rules and rules that you shouldn't really tinker with, and the one that really gets my goat at the moment, not about cricket but about rugby, is the 20-minute red card.
What's that?
If they think it's a offence, they will send you off for 20 minutes rather than the 10 minutes that you would get for a yellow card. During which point,
okay, we'll have to come back to that because Rashid has thrown one outside off stump. Rinku tried a reverse hit. Missed it, and you think it's a wide for half a second, but he changed it over so it's not. But why is that so bad?
Because I think it devalues what they're trying to achieve, which is to make the game safer. And
okay, yeah. Pushed up to long off by Dubey,
yeah,
say.
Because wasn't the situation, if it was dangerous play, you were sent off as in football, and you couldn't come back on?
Correct.
So why are they making exactly that? I think
it's now you get sent off for 20 minutes and they review it whilst you're off to see whether it's going to be upgraded to being sent off for the rest of the match.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That's a bit halfway house trying to. Well, I mean, I guess there are a bunch of hits in rugby that are late but and dangerous but aren't intended. I.e., the game is quite quick these days, and people duck into tackles, and it ends up looking worse than it should be. But it's still technically shit.
That's a googly from Rashid. Turns away from the left-hander. He pushes it out to deep extra for a single. I'm not the biggest fan of rugby, maybe because I was forced to play it at school. I say play it. I sort of stood about 30 yards away from the play and sort of kept out of everybody's way.
Yeah, I was a forward. I was a prop when I was younger because I was just big and fat and short. And obviously, before we all hit puberty, that was fine. Oh,
now is that one out? He's gone for reverse again. Butler really likes it.
I'm sure he must be LBW if he's not caught.
They will probably review this in a as you say, an each way bet. But he went for the reverse. It came off something, certainly pad. Did it clip glove or bat as well? It went straight to Butler at slip. Butler is reviewing, although it took them a bit of time to. Well, it wasn't an instant review by any means.
See, I thought that possibly was LBW before even they were out for a catch. So
I thought so.
You got double bubble chance here.
That goes through the equation as well.
Because they have to review everything, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it turned quite sharply and was going across him, so I think it's more likely caught behind if it's either one. I mean, which one are they going to do first?
Yeah, it was a googly. It's pitched on middle.
It's not turned.
No, it's nowhere near anything.
What about after it? It's definitely hit his hip, gone under the bat.
That's not out.
Has it caught anything after that?
No.
On the way through.
That may be too high. It might be actually a really good decision.
It's not LBW.
It's not LBW. It's outside the off stump. It says off stump, because it's in reverse.
Okay, yeah.
But the fact is that it's not hit him in line.
Just like to see him play this on to make sure he doesn't wave his bat all the way round. It doesn't look like it.
No. And then it's hit his.
His hip pocket.
His hip pocket, which is outside the line when it hits it, because it's a googly. So yeah, it looked a really good shout, but it was a pull shout.
In the end,
a really good bit of umpiring.
Have a look for LBW, no chance. Okay, England lose a review.
Not really to worry. Still don't see why they have two reviews in a T20, but
yeah.
Seems a bit excessive.
Score one for the umpire. Anyway, it was a dot ball though, and India are getting a bit behind on the runs. Never mind the wickets, and that's not a convincing shot. And again, well, that one's a bit flatter, but again, Brooks stood and waited for it, and I'm not sure if one or two England top dogs like Butler are expecting him to dive forward for that one. Didn't get hold of that on a sort of sweep pull. It went flat up to long off.
Yeah, it's very much bowled into the deck and it just stops.
I don't know if you really go at that early. Anyway, last ball of the 10th over. Last ball of our little stint, and a big swing from Dubey, who does not look comfortable at all. Misses everything. Salt takes the bails off just because he's the wicket keeper, and India are 72 for 4 at the 10 over break.
Oh, and we're time for a change. Messers and Abbey is going to come in and join me from the green room. Messers is back from the ether, and we shall carry on. All right, Messers. You're on mute, I believe. Maybe not.
Anymore.
Not anymore. No, there you are. Come and join us, Abby. Give us your.
We need it. England need people to super chat every one of the 4 wickets has fallen directly after a super chat.
That's true.
So,
Right, I was going to have
which
to take
gives you a chance to talk about why we need money.
Yeah, right. So I've got an offer on the flat. We're done. We're here. We're out. I'm going to get a blue plaque and put it up on the front. I'm going to order one. I'm sure there's somewhere I can order one online, and I'll put it out on the thing. But we are out. Gorilla Cricket is no more in Gorilla Towers. We need a new Gorilla Towers. What's that? Yeah. Sure. So we need patrons. We need super chats, but we need everything. But mainly patrons, because at the end of the day, we need to know how much we're getting every month, and we've got to go out and get commercial property now. Going to have a look at one on Monday, which will be good. It's quite expensive out there, which is why we were here, but I do have to get rid of it, as you know. So please do Patreon at patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket. You get lots of extras. You get extra podcasts. You get extra. What else do you get? You get access to the archive. You get access to the what's that thing we're on? Discord channel. And you get a mug after a bit of time, and other things too. So it's well worth becoming a patron. You get our undying gratitude, of course. So that's one way of doing it. Someone suggested the other day, which I'm going to come up with, so all those who are interested, I will. You'll have to email us or become a patron, and I'll put it up on Patreon or whatever. An investor forum, which is an interesting prospect, came up by Lockie 6. If you're interested in getting into the property market in London, which is quite vibrant, and I can find a good deal, because that's kind of another string to my bow anyway. If you've got some dead money knocking around and you want to invest it in property in London, I can find us a place where Gorilla Cricket can reside, and you become shareholders of a company that holds the property. We'll figure something else out, and obviously we'll put some money into a fund or something anyway from what we get to manage it and do all the repairs, so there'll be no costs on any of the investors. But if that's something that floats your boat, I'm going to put a proposal together anyway, and I'll put that up on Patreon. But yeah, we do need your support if we're going to continue. We already are very grateful for the support that we do get, all the super chats, all the patrons. We are very, very, very grateful. You are what keeps us going. And let's face it, we're in our 10th year. So we're celebrating 10 years this year, so it's all well and good, and you're all fantastic people. But we do want to keep going. Cars is into the attack, and he looks a bit pacey, and Rinku doesn't look comfortable, but he manages to bunt it down to third man, and I'll get a single. What are your thoughts then, Abby? You got to speak right, Mike, right up against your lip.
Pretty shoddy, to be fair. I don't understand why Pandya wasn't set. Why I don't understand why Pandya didn't come in before Dubey.
Do you think he sees himself just as a finisher? Wants to be in from sort of overs 14, 15 onwards?
If he does see himself as a finisher, he's not done great justice to that tagline.
No, I mean he was a few years ago before his last big injury. He could score pretty bloody quick right at the end.
Oh, that's 4.
Yeah, it is 4. It's cut down this time. Beats the man at third man. He's a little bit too fine for that, and it'll be 4 runs.
Again, well, we saw the insistence with the right-hand, left-hand combination in the last T20 by the coaching staff. So I don't know why they haven't sent, Pandya in before Dubey. Well, I'm not going to complain much because he's just scored a boundary. But still.
Yeah. I mean, they're all kind of interchangeable. I mean, they're all sort of biffers at 5, 6 and 7, aren't they? I mean, this is it. But you think Pandya was your main man, and you want him as long as possible. That's full and into the pads, and this time he's not going to get 4. It's just fielded down. It's quite a fine leg by Sajid Mahmood. And he'll get a single.
Well, I can tell you there is a wicket incoming, because Philip Shaw has just super chatted another €2.49. Saying let's cheer it up with a wicket, so almost certainly a wicket within the next over or so. Yeah. Thank you, Philip.
Well, I think if England can get another 2 wickets and keep this down to 130, 140, if these two go for another 5 overs, if India can get to 160, it'll be interesting.
Oh, here we go. Wide.
Wide down the leg side, but Phil sort of peeled and he heard something. Could be the pad though, could be the bat. England only got 1 review left and we're only in the 10th over, but what the fuck?
One thing I will say about the Pune pitch, it can get plucky by the end.
What do you
But
mean?
in the second innings as well.
What, two-paced and...
Yeah. On surface level, it does look like a batting pitch, but later on, it does get a bit plucky.
You know, as I was saying...
Oh,
no,
here we go.
that's out.
Yep.
It's me commentating.
There
sorry.
you go.
Well, there you go.
Shaw just
Super
put
chat.
another one.
You you did cheer it up with the wickets. Attempted pull, horrible shot by Rinku. Big top edge, flies down the third man. Adil Rashid has to move around about 5 yards, take a really comfortable catch, and that is just what India didn't need and just what England love. Another wicket. Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust. And Rinku Singh has to go. What do you get? 30 of 26. Strike rate 115. Not great. A good start.
I mean, I'll take the
didn't go on.
30 runs. I'll take the 30 runs.
Yeah. Well, if everyone gets 30, you get 210, don't you? And every time in a T20 you take that. But the problem is the depth. You've still got 10 overs to go, and you can't really just go for it with only 5 wickets left in the hutch. I mean, surely Pandya has to come out now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, give him a jingle, because I'm assuming he's coming out. It's going to be Hardik.
And in breaking news, Hardik Pandya.
And it is indeed Hardik Pandya. I thought he batted the other night, to be fair.
Well is an overstatement, to be fair.
Well, reasonably. I mean, considering where India were at, I mean, he got
Yeah.
40 and he didn't have a lot to bat with, did he? I mean, it's not like he could go full on, but hit some decent shots. Cast is in. That looked pretty quick, and it's defended into the leg side. There is no run.
Yeah, going back to the point where we were talking about Hardik Pandya as a finisher, even with Gujarat Titans, he had, I think he was a top order batsman for them. I think he was number 3 for them at some point.
He was captain last
Yeah, he
year,
was
wasn't he?
no,
That's when he went to Mumbai.
Mumbai,
wasn't he,
yeah,
for the terrible season.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that. But no, he did come down as number 3 for Gujarat Titans.
It's defended back to the bowler, just past him. They think about a single, but it's not there.
And to be fair, he did reasonably well while he was batting in that position. So if you could just replace Rinku with Pandya in the batting order, I think that would be a little bit more helpful, because Rinku is a pure finisher. I wouldn't trust him to navigate within the middle overs as well as Pandya.
And that's it. You need your finish. I mean, the problem is they've lost too many wickets early on, haven't they? I mean, that's the point. I mean, you've got an order set up. Probably if they had gone a bit deeper and hadn't lost so many wickets, probably Hardik would have come in at 6. But it is weird if you think that Rinku is the finisher. Why he's come up?
So we got a solution for you.
Yep.
Jesus El Coro says, surely you have a spare room as your daughter has gone to uni. Keep up the good work and good luck finding a new home for the best cricket commentary around. Thinking positively, I'm hoping to visit in the new location.
Oh, great.
That's excellent here.
That's pushed out to the cover boundary and there's a single. Yeah, I do have a spare room in my house, but although my daughter's stuff is still there because she comes back from university, and the chance of me being able to do it at my house, unfortunately, is about fucking 0. My wife would
your wife would
never have
not
it.
be impressed.
She would never have this at my house.
Well, it's not just the commentary. It's us. It's
Well, exactly. She wouldn't want the people in the house. I could sit up there on my own, but that wouldn't be much fun.
No. We could build a shed in your back garden. Have you got a back garden?
Yeah, I have. It's not big enough. A lot of people have said that. It's punched out to the cover. I think it's Harry Brook out in the deep. Fumbles it a little bit. They get through for a single.
We could build a shed on the Bishop Estate.
Yeah. Well, as I said to the Bish, and Hendo was talking about, let's do it in Hackney. Why? I found places in Hackney. It's like, me, you, and fucking Tony, who are the most, who are here most of the time, all live in either South East London or South West London, which is, geographically the opposite side of London to Hackney, which is a real shitty place to get to, as that's pumped up to long on for a single. So that really doesn't make any sense. And the point is, if it was in Tony's back garden, he would really have to learn how to use the tech properly, because I'm not going to be able to rush over there at the drop of a hat to sort shit out.
I can't see Vivian being all that impressed.
No, and I can't see Vivian being all that impressed as well if we were all in her place. The wives are the problem here, you know, funnily enough. There's a common denominator, as that one's left alone by Hardik Pandya through to the keeper and there's no run.
The home carers, you mean?
Yes.
The ones who actually worry about how their place looks.
Yeah. Well, I don't think my wife's listening, and you know. That's defended by Hardik out into the offside, wide enough for cover. They'll get through for a single, but there's been no boundaries, and I don't know who it was saying earlier, England have been quite good at stopping India from getting boundaries in the middle overs.
Yeah, especially
Adil Rashid's been fantastic in this series.
Shamey's 37.
It's Shamey's 37. He can't get an IPL contract, can he?
Yeah.
I
would have taken him at Mumbai.
Well,
honestly.
you know, I think that's Hoyt.
That's six.
That's a great shot. That's a smaximum by Dubey. That was flat and hard, and it's gone all the way. It's one of these.
I don't think that's 4.
You think that's 4? I thought it was. Quite that. I thought that had gone all the way. It was a 4. Yeah, I mean, I guess India thinks we've got enough spinners.
Oh, that's 4. That's 4.
Yeah. It's only just bounced in front of the sponge. I guess Indians think, well, fuck it, we've got enough spinners. We don't need to get a world-class spinner like Adil Rashid.
So Philip Shaw's claiming a hat-trick with his super chats, which is well deserved. Diana Patterson says, I've always wondered why die-hard cricket fans marry women who don't like or actually hate cricket. Since it's just too weird.
Well, Diane,
I did that twice.
Here's a funny story. When I first met my wife, she told me she used to go drinking with Kalo, who was the Kenyan captain, and that she loved cricket. And she came to a few of my club games when we first got together. But that soon died. And the truth will out, is all I will say on that one.
Yes. It's I tried to introduce my first wife to cricket, took her to the Wacker. Bill Lawrie made 70 in the whole day's play, and she never went again.
Yeah. Didn't enjoy just sitting in the sun and drinking booze.
She read 7 chapters of her book.
That's pulled by Hardik. Not great timing, but definitely enough. And it's gone down to the boundary for another 4 runs.
4 on the floor, and 1 more 4 than the 4 before. That's what 4's are for, to get funky on the dance floor.
I mean, the score's moving along here enough for India to get somewhere.
It's just the wickets.
It's just the wickets. But again, I mean, how many overs you got left? You got what? 8 overs? If these two go for 8 overs, you still get a bloody good score, and presumably have good scores. You know, I mean, it does only take one or two people, 2 middling scores.
Yeah.
In a T20, and then you've got 2 people who got 30 so far.
Well, that's 4.
That's nicely driven by Hardik Pandya out to the cover boundary. It's time for 4 more.
Just four.
Yeah, my dad used to be a big cricket fan, and after 25 plus years of marriage, he doesn't like cricket anymore. So
what? Why did he stop liking cricket?
I think it was after the 2013 IPL fixing scandal.
Right.
He lost interest after that. I mean, he still does watch.
But it's not the passionate man he was.
He's not the passionate man anymore.
A big attempted drive by Hardik. It's a fat inside half of the bat that goes off towards a long leg. It's chased down by Phil Salt. Now get a single. Hardik moves on to 11 off 9, 19 off 15 for Dubey. Not going great shakes. Hit the odd really good shot, but still a fair few dot balls in there.
Yeah, which is why I would have wanted Pandya to come, earlier, because he has molded his game in such a fashion that he can navigate through the middle overs pretty well.
And then he gets his eye in, and then he can power away for the last 5 overs. That's short and it's wide, and it's pumped out to the man on the point boundary, who is Jacob Bethel, I believe. Did they get through for 2? They did. That was very good running. No, it was just a 1, I think.
Then that's awful running.
Yeah, because they were struggling at the end.
because why are you struggling for a single? Honestly.
Maybe they thought it was.
Oh no, I think that was a couple. Oh no, that was just.
No,
a
it's a
single.
single. According to that, yeah.
Wow.
And it was, yeah, because Hardick's on strike. So yeah, maybe they thought it was going for 4, sauntered through, and then had to run. Who knows?
Pune is such a ground that you seldom get any doubles. To be fair.
Yeah, it's a very short boundaries.
Yeah, very short boundaries.
Yeah. Into a hip, and it'll go down towards the long leg. It'll just run a single to end that over. I think Hardick will retain the strike.
That's 11 of the over.
That's not bad. Couple of 4s there. 7 to go, and they're not quite on 100 yet, are they? 10 and over gets them 170.
Parrot Badshaw says, wouldn't it make more sense to get somewhere at the arse end of the tube network? That's usually what I look for with hotels. Bear needs to be nearby because the tech always fucks up somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I can be within. There's a whole bunch of areas. I mean, we could go down to sort of Norbury or Thornton Heath, and down towards. I don't want to go as far as Croydon because Croydon's a shithole more than anything. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be literally 2 minutes from my house, but sort of my side of London is going to be handy.
Yeah. Leah says, to be fair to Bear's wife, I wouldn't let some of the gorillas into the house either.
Adil Rashid is in. First ball of his final over is just driven down to long off for a single. Go on, Messi.
Furam says, will the much talked about dew factor have a bearing for the India's batting or fielding?
Well, Abby says no.
No, Pune is... and I think you should take my word for it because I am from Pune. Pune is dry. I doubt there will be much of a dew factor by the end. There might be some, but not a lot because generally Pune is dry at this time of the year.
Well, that ball was short. It died in a wicket, squatted a little bit, but it was poor. It was short. It was down leg side, and Dubey just waited for it, slammed it behind square, got himself 4 runs.
You ask where I live, here's the address I give, the phone.
One thing about Shivam Dubey, I think we saw this in the T20 World Cup as well. Do not ball back of the length to him. The only way you're gonna sort of put him in a spot of trouble is if you hit the good length consistently.
Tossed up
and don't do that as well. Do not do that.
That's full and tossed. This is the worst that Adil Rashid is. Well, the biggest treatment he's got in the series so far. Hit straight back over his head, and it will be 6 runs. And that's the 100 up one. No, 100 up, 109 for 5. So I mean, with 7 overs to go, they've kind of got themselves, 6 after this, but they've got themselves back into the game here, India.
Yeah. Well, as long as these two stay in.
Well, this is it. We need another super chat. Come on. We need another wicket.
It's all that works, isn't it?
Yeah.
Phil Shaw makes a perfectly reasonable point that Bear's wife probably enjoys her peace and quiet when the bear is performing at Gorilla Towers.
Yeah, she always finds something to moan about.
So do you.
Well, yeah. Adil Rashid bowls one that skids on into the pads of Dubey, who plays that out to deep mid wicket as a single, and he's moved on 31 off 19 now, so strike rate is up nearly 150.
And Lockie 6 is with us. He says, which London suburbs would be suitable? I'm looking at cheap ones, but they might be horrible and we don't want you murdered.
No, I mean, I was looking at flats within 3 miles of here, and there's some decent ones. I mean, the main problem we've got is that's defended into the offside and stuff. Bedrooms, because if we get a 1-bedroom flat, a lot of bedrooms are tiny, and therefore you couldn't fit the studio or the green room. You need one as a green room, and one as the thing. And basically, we need a bedroom that's similar size to what we've got here, which is about 12 by 13. A lot of bedrooms are smaller than that. They're like 10 by 9 or even smaller, and you think, fuck me, what are you selling here? That's defended into the offside by a big lunge forward by Hardik Pandya, and that ends the 14th over. Hardik on 13 off 13. Dubey 31 off 19, 110 for 5 after 14. Over to you, Messi.
Dara Azizi says a tough of Nilson Bain. I don't know what that means. Parametral says when you're tired of cricket, you're tired of life. That might be London. And Lockie 6 says Croydon looks lovely. Well, it isn't. I can.
Croydon is not. I mean, there are parts of Croydon that's okay, but the fucking high street
It's
and then around there is nasty. And they got a massive 4-lane fucking highway that goes through the middle of it, with big towers on either side. They got the Home Office building down there as well. It's pretty grim on that bit.
Grim is a very good word for Croydon, actually. Grim.
But look, I'm going to look around. I'll put something together. I did mean to do it this week, but I've been busy. Right, my last over. Dubey cuts that one out to backward point. They go for one. Bethel throws it in. They don't go for a second. And the score moves on to 111 for 5 with 6 overs to go. 10 and over gets them 170, which is roughly what England got the other day and ended up winning. I mean, if you can get 170 on a board, I think you put pressure on England.
Yeah, especially on this pitch as well. I mean, you have the short boundaries, but
yeah, and the pitch is dead in the middle, isn't it? It's not like one is longer on one side and one is short on the other. It's almost dead circular pitch with the wicket dead in the middle. And that was a weird shot by Harding. It looked like he was shaping up to heave it into the leg side. And it skidded on. And he tried to cut it. It was nowhere near it. It was a very ugly shot. It went through the keeper and there was no run. Jamie Overton, by the way, is back on. He went for 7 in his first over. I thought he's bowled well this series. To be fair.
He has. Yeah,
not batted very well.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, he does bowl. He's a big, strong, heavy dude. So he bowls a heavy ball. It's just that I don't think the balance is right with him at 7. I mean, I think he should be part of the palmed or permed into the bowlers really, because he can hit a ball, but it'd be better off having 8 or below. That's another pretty ugly shot for Harding. I think maybe in a cutter and dipped into him a little bit, and he just mistimed it out to cover, and there was no run.
Hold on, there's a little England flan there.
Yeah, with Butler on his cheeks.
Yeah.
Big support for the T20s. All the grounds have been very full, haven't they?
Yeah. It's all these people, all the fans that have shown up to the stadium today. They have a long, long commute home.
Yeah,
today.
well, that's a good stop by Phil Salt. Again, that was pretty ugly from Harding. It tends to pull into the leg side. Got a bottom toe end that nearly scooted past Phil Salt. It was a good stop. It was going quickly to his left, and he managed to get down and get it in his glove. I think Joffre's got 1 left, hasn't he? There'll be 2 from Jamie Overton after this. Presumably Sakib's got 1 or 2 left. That's into the pads, but full toss, not timed by Harding, out to Bethel again at deep backward square leg, get himself a single. 10 and over, 11 and over, getting to 169 from here. Current run rate getting to 150, which probably won't be enough, but it might be enough to put a bit of pressure on with a couple of early wickets.
Upwards of 165, I would say.
Yeah, I think always then you're in the game.
Yeah,
you know. As I say, if you make a side score 8 and over consistently for 20 overs, it's, no matter how good you are, it's not that easy against
unless you
bowl. And England have had serious problems with Varun Chakravarti, for example, throughout the series. And the difference, actually, that's wide. No, I don't think that was wide. Oh, it was wide. That was wide, slower ball, it was given us a wide. I mean, the difference is when you're chasing. I mean, like in the last game, England were losing wickets, but they just went on and on and on and managed to get 30 for the last wicket and got themselves a score. And then the flip side of that is what happened to India. You start losing wickets, chasing a chase, and then you find it difficult to know whether to stick or twist, because you've got to get to 160 and you can just keep bashing away and lose terribly, or do you kind of hold a little bit and go, right, we're going to try and get this off the last 5 overs, and then you lose another couple of wickets and it all goes horribly wrong. The mind can. No, I don't think that wasn't wide. No, that was a wide.
Well, I don't
in the IPL you could review that, of course.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
But you can't hear. Overton is in. Oh, that's top edged, and
safely.
It didn't really carry. It just dropped behind the stumps.
It would have carried if we'd had a super chat.
It would have carried if we had a super chat. Well, that is the end of the over. 113 for 5. I'm out of here. Abby, you're going to have I think it's your debut on Ball by Ball.
On Ball by Ball, yeah.
Annie is going to be your wingman, taking over from me, and Billy is going to come back because I have to let him in.
Okay, I'll catch you in the second innings.
Yes, I will see you in the second innings myself. Until then, goodbye. Do some chatting.
Hello. Hello, is that Andy? I can't see.
Hello,
my-
Billy. Let
my
me see.
tiny screen.
Yeah, we look like everyone can see us on YouTube. And yeah, India 113 for 5, and England will be ruining that drop of Shivam Dubey. What can you rule on this pronunciation, Abby?
It's Dubey.
Dubey. That's
Dubey.
what I thought.
I
Yeah.
was about to say Dubey.
No, not Dubey. It's Dubey.
Oh, okay, that's a subtle Dubey.
Dubey. Yeah. You
Well-
know how you say the word the?
Yep.
Dubey.
Dubey. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he was dropped first ball by
Yeah.
Jofra Archer. Joss Butler, a sharp chance, but he's now moved on to 32.
Saqib Mahmood in for his last over, and Pandya steps on the ground, and that is going to be a maximum. Great start to the over. I think, he needs to put his foot down anyways. Well, great initiative shown that by India's number. I forgot his number. I was going to say his
He
number.
came in 7 today.
Yeah, no, I
Give him a
mean
quick-
shirt.
right,
Shirt
yeah.
number
Yep.
30. I don't know. Well, something. Shirt number 33. Great shot. Oh, that's popped up, and that lands safely into no man's land. Luckily enough for India and Hardik Pandya.
Very much into no man's land, wasn't it? It
Yeah.
was a short
Yeah.
mid-off in the circle would have just taken that as easy as you like. He's certainly, frankly, he's throwing the kitchen sink at it at the moment,
Yeah,
Pandya.
Yeah, he does have a knack for it. The sort of flailing shots that he has all the time. You know, the awkward shots all the time.
Yeah, India with 5 overs less 2 balls to get to what they hope would be a winning score.
Yeah.
You know, even 50 more, 170, and that might not even be par.
Mahmood in, and sort of hurries Dubey there. Fielded by Bethel. Was that Bethel at short cover?
Not sure myself. He has looked a bit rushed by the pace at times, Dubey.
I said at the start of the match today that I thought this looked like a really good pitch, and I was thinking kind of 175 would be par, really.
Yeah.
But really, India were looking almost 200. I don't know. What do you think they'll be happy with getting to now? I mean, I assume they'll still love to get to 180, and they absolutely can with these two at the crease.
Yeah. I think, from what I know of the Pune pitch, I think I mentioned this earlier, it becomes plucky by the end. So anything upwards of 170, 165, anything around that range should be a good score.
I think from here as well, but the key is what you said there, Billy, if these two batsmen stay in.
Yeah, and to be fair, we have...
Is due much of a factor in Pune or not really?
Not really. Pune is perched up on a hill, so not really that high, but it's generally a dry city. That's slapped down for a double. No, that's a single there. Pandya back on strike. No, so Pune is generally dry, especially around especially around this time of the year. So there won't be much of a dew factor tonight.
Yep, 122 for 5. He smacked that one back at the bowler, Dubey. I think it's not the over the entire innings, the entire 15 overs, it has not been a very controlled India innings.
Nope.
It's been a bit wild, I think, generally.
I think pushing Rink. He slapped that for a maximum. Saqib Mahmood sort of getting a bashing here. Mrs. Length there. You do not bowl to Pandya over there, and Pandya's pulled that for a 6. Slower one, cutter, leg cutter there, and Pandya saw that all the way through. Nice shot, good connection. we'll get 6 for that.
It's been an odd one for Mahmood. A triple wicket maiden in his first over, but he's now on 3 for possibly 3 for 40. I think.
Yeah, I was just about to mention exactly that.
That's a good Yorker.
That's a good Yorker. A good comeback by Mahmood there. I think that finishes his spell, doesn't it? Or does he have one more left?
No, I think that will finish it. What's happening on socials there, Billy?
Well, I don't know where we got up to because I wasn't let in.
Give us the last few YouTube comments. See how we go from there.
Well, Messers says I'm not entirely convinced. I feel better for knowing that Lear. So Lear was obviously talking about something earlier. And is Lear the how do you pronounce that? Besh.
Yes, that is Lear. Yes.
Yeah, Lear.
I think my food is here.
I'm not sure I can pronounce. I'm not sure my pronunciation is good enough for that. Is the ball by ball debutant on Blue Sky? Dara says he was special constable too. Do you know what they're referencing?
Well, let me have a look. Dennis Nielsen, apparently. Oh, why are you talking about Dennis Nielsen?
I don't know. Well, England. England have done very well. You'd have to say to get India into this position. I mean, they would have taken this at the start.
Definitely.
It's been a good recovery from India. I mean, Hardik Pandya always worries me. 28 of 21. You just know he's ready to explode, and it could be on this Archer here.
Ooh, that's shot up. I think that is going to carry for a 6. Sort of an awkward shot from Hardik there, but we'll get maximum for that.
Yeah, same as you. I thought that hadn't gone too far, but one of those that did go up a long way, but it just kept going.
Yeah, I mentioned this earlier because, Pune is at a little bit of a height. The ball travels quicker through the air because the air is a little bit thinner. And again, I think that is going to be a 4. So Hardik Pandya on a roll here, 38 of 23 now. That's 10 of the first 2 of Archer's over.
Yes, drilled that up, and good placement there because it would have been catchable height for the man on the boundary, but he put it in between long off and deep extra cover.
Yeah, really clean hitting. This is exactly what I meant. He's just so dangerous, Pandya. He was just getting through a few overs, having a look, because he knows he needs to be there at the end so he can explode like this.
Yeah. Joyous Indian fans. Yeah, well, now looking at the situation, I think so 140 now, and we have got 3.4 overs left.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah, I reckon they could get another 30 easily. If luckily, if they, if these two still stay in.
I think this is key. Who's in next?
Aksar,
yeah.
Archer in, pulled by Pandya. I think that should be a single. Bethel at long on, covering.
I mean, Aksar and then Bishnoi is probably better than what England have got at 8 and 9, but I think both these teams would be looking to get some stronger batting from their all-rounders. England in particular do look like they have a bit of a long tail in this team, which they haven't had for some years.
Yeah.
When you've got Phil Salt struggling a bit at the top of the order, it
puts a bit more pressure on. If you're looking over your shoulder and you think, we haven't got that much more to come in, this happens at every level of cricket. You go into your shell and you just don't bat as well.
Right then, Archer round the wicket to Dubey. He slapped that for 4 too long on. Just past mid off. Sorry, that was past mid off, and that's 4.
Yeah, going for the Yorker there, Archer, but that's the problem with Yorkers these days. He missed it by quite a bit, really, and just bowled a big juicy full toss.
Yeah.
And with mid-off up in the circle, I don't think the batsman was going to miss out on that one.
Yeah, certainly not the right length.
No, he was just looking for the Yorker.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, only Jasprit Bumrah is really good enough to be bowling that ball consistently. It's very difficult.
Archer in and sort of waddled away by Dubey for a single to bring Pandya on strike for the last ball. That is 145 for 5 for the Indian side.
16 off this over so far, and this is maybe just exposing England's death bowling a little bit. That's another area that they're not totally on top of at the moment.
Do you think Wood have done something different?
I think Wood's more of a middle over bowler.
Yeah.
Once you're bowling that quick, as we're seeing now with Archer, when you're bowling the quicker you bowl, the quicker it goes sometimes.
Archer in for his last ball of a spell, pulled away by Pandya straight to deep mid wicket, and that's a single. That will bring him back on strike for the 18th over. 146 for 5 after 17.
Well, I personally don't think England have bowled enough cutters. I mean, Archer especially seems to be pretty much mostly pace on deliveries. And I just wonder if they could have tried something different, especially with these two going so hard at the ball.
Yeah.
There are no messages to speak of as such, but please do keep super chatting us. We desperately need your very generous donations.
We do, but yeah.
Yep.
Don't say we're desperate.
As well.
It's not a great.
No, not. They've bought wickets as well.
They have. That's the best. The best pitch that these super chats are bringing the wickets in. But England have gone, as we can see on the screen, 33 from the last 12 balls, and Overton's going to have a go.
That might be wide. I don't know what Salt is appealing for. That was clearly a wide.
He's trying to stop the wide. That's the oldest trick in the book.
Yeah, speaking about cutters, I think Mahmood tried one, but he was just so off his length that Pandya saw it coming from a mile. So, yeah, they should try more cutters, especially on this pitch, but hit the right lengths. That's the best you can do.
Well, Overton's going to be their go-to guy. He's got 2 overs left. I'm sure he's going to bowl this one and the last.
Yeah. Oh, that might be no ball, and that is quite a shot from Pandya. He sort of directed that over third man for 4, widest third man to be fair.
I think they're going to check that. They've given a no ball. It was a horrible ball. It's just a great big full toss outside off stump, and the punishment for that is not complete because obviously it's going to be an extra ball and a free hit.
Yeah. England sort of losing the plot at this point. They did well to restrict India in the start, but bit erratic at the end now. And now the 180 is looking a real possibility, and he's, oh my god, he has nonchalantly played that over the bowler's head for a maximum.
I mean, it helps that it's a free hit, but that was a lovely hit through the line. And that is 50 for Hardik Pandya, so we'll do the 6 first.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6.
And he's got one of these. Well, I was ragging on him a bit earlier for hiding at number 7, but he showed me.
Yeah, personally, I would have wanted him to come in at number 5 as well, in place of Rinku. But I guess he's made me shut my mouth. So single down to long off for Pandya. That's 51 for him now.
He's just so consistently destructive part of Pandya. I mean, no, it doesn't always come off, but a lot of the time it does for him. And the way he plays it can't all the time. But he's sending the Indian crowd up. So we saw it with England in this different situation, but this lower order leaking of runs can really give the batting side some momentum going into their bowling innings.
Can do, but I still think this is a pretty good track, and
I agree.
I may be being hopeful, but India could still blitz their way to 190, but England get off to a good start and could easily knock them off. They're going to change the ball. Hardik wants a drink or something. Yeah. They are going to change the ball because
the seam's ripped.
Bits hanging off it like a Division 7 Saturday ball.
Well, that works in India's favour, change ball, because when it's new, obviously it's not new, it's from a similar age, but it'll still be harder by virtue of having not been used. Yeah. So this could be quite interesting. Dubey and Hardik will look forward to this.
This partnership must be pushing 100.
Not really.
I reckon it's probably kind of 75ish.
Yeah.
65, 75.
I thought they were 50 something for 5. I might be wrong.
No, I think. You're underestimating.
80 has just come up. Yeah. But yeah, good work, very good work from these two batsmen. Dubey looked very shaky early on against some pace from Archer, and he was dropped first ball, and England might look back at that ruefully if they do lose this game, and thus the series, and that great big trophy we saw earlier on. It's such a massive trophy for just a T20 series.
Overton in, and that is swept. That's
easy. Yeah,
that's sort of pulled over backward square leg for 4 by Dubey. That takes him to 42.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
Now I think Overton is trying to bowl some cutters, but he's just not getting the length right.
Yeah, that's really poor bowling from Overton. He's just swiveled and flicked it.
Yeah,
really easy. I mean, there's only a square leg who's pretty square. He's not fine.
Oh, he's muscled that to deep mid wicket. Bethel there to cover. As I said, do not bowl back of the length to Shivam Dubey, because he's going to flick, pull, cut, whatever.
Yeah. So, quite a turnaround in this innings.
Surprising, I must say. I had lost all hopes.
Yes, I was going to say, you weren't so confident after those 3 early wickets.
I was calling them all sorts of names in the green room. Oh!
It's going to get away with that, yeah.
Is that going to... No, that's going to be a couple, I think. But yeah, rather... an unusual shot from Pandya. A no-look ramp. I got down and he played it over Salt's head.
Salt was interested for just a moment, but it just evaded him. And things going India's way for the last half hour or so.
Yeah.
But fortune favours the brave.
Shot. Well, it's a really well-directed bouncer, actually. He's just lifted his bat up and managed to lift it over the keeper. This over's been incredibly expensive from Jamie Overton.
Trying to work it out. It's
20, gone for about 17 or 18.
20 it looks like.
Oh, that's gone up right up in the air. Someone settling underneath. That's Butler. The skipper takes the catch. That is Pandya out for 53.
The crowd says you're out.
Well played.
Very well played. And it was another miscue. Unfortunately for him, it wasn't a miscue for 6, as we've seen a couple of times. That definitely a cutter from Overton. So that's one for you guys.
To be fair, that was in the slot. He's just he couldn't
lifted one hand off the bat. It looped up to sort of between extra cover and long off, and Butler made up the ground. But it's a great knock from Hardik. 53 off 30, which puts India right back in the game.
Really good knock from Hardik Pandya, striking at 177. It's always very good. Let's see if there are any messages coming in. Well, Sam says that Hardik's giving us a damn good roddering, so he'll be happy to see the back of him. Leah says, don't quite understand that, so we'll leave that. But yeah, 166 for 6 India. Pandya-Dubey could be dangerous in the last couple of overs.
Yeah.
I mean, Axar can can throw the bat.
Yeah, and Kars does bowl the heavy ball as well. So it'll be interesting to see. Anyways, that's his last over. He's coming in, steaming in round the wicket. Oh, that's a Yorker, well directed Yorker to be fair, and that's a dot ball to start the 19th over.
Yeah, there's a bit of a skill in these situations. Sometimes you're just stepping inside those balls and taking a wide. Dubey followed it, and it ended up hitting his foot.
Do you guys think that the fact that Salt can keep is really helping him be in this side, because we assume that Butler doesn't want to keep?
Doesn't hurt. I mean, most teams have 2 or 3 wicket keeping options. Are you suggesting that if he couldn't keep, Salt might be out of the side?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Who would you replace him with?
Salt can sometimes get you off to really quick starts, but it's too inconsistent. And I know that is the thing with T20 cricket. A lot of it's about inconsistency. I've said it earlier. Root has to be in this side. He doesn't have to open. Maybe about 3, 4, anything. He's
I know he's
good enough T20 batsman,
especially
in these conditions.
He's going great guns in South Africa, and a lot of the people who are keeping him out of the side before have gone now.
Car structure, first ball hits it out to cow corner. they have scrambled up for a second, and that's great running. So that's 2 for Akshar of the first ball.
Yeah, 9 balls left. India have already just about got to the 170 that they would have been very pleased with 40 minutes ago, and everything from here is a bonus.
Yeah, I think 175, 180 is about par, to be honest. We need Messi on to give us the boundary dimensions. I don't know if he's listening, he could put them in the chat, but I think it's kind of a 65, 70 metre boundary. So
Yeah,
it's not particularly big.
Yeah, it's a pretty small ground. That's muscled by Akshar again to cow corner. Nope, this time it's just a single. So again, Dubey is on strike. 44-29 for him, and that's 170 for India.
Yep, with 8 balls to get some extra. Maybe they can get to 185. It did help getting that Hardik wicket from England's point of view.
Yeah.
I think that was a Sunderland football shirt.
Yeah, I think I saw
in the Indian crowd.
Yeah, I saw an Ipswich top as well. Akash again. That's full toss, flicked by Dubey. That's gonna be 4. 174 for 6 for India.
Yeah, there's been a good over up to that point, but he blotted his copybook there rather.
Right then. So Dubey is now on 48 of 30, approaching his 50.
It's a nice little flick that from Pandya-Dubey. I mean, they make professional cricketers make playing full tosses really quite easily.
Yeah.
But it definitely isn't.
Number of times I've got out. Number of times I've got out to them.
That's what I was thinking.
Right then, that's slapped by Dubey through covers. That's going to be 4. That's 50 for the young man. Well played.
And he's got one of these.
It's 50, and you know that can't be bad. Yeah, it's 50, and you know you should be glad.
Well played. That sort of does question why he wasn't selected for...
Well, he made his point in the best possible way.
Yeah, for the previous T20s.
Just to get to a few messages, Stephen Kelk says, "Hello world." I hope that's a Tiger Woods reference, Stephen. If it is, I'll be very happy with that. Does Reynolds, who do England play in the next Test series? Well, we've got Zimbabwe in a one-off test in May, and then we've got a big Test series against India coming up. Dara Azizi says, "Root can often get your wicket." Yes, I think he's a very underrated bowler. And Daz says, "Hi, Dara." Everyone's saying hello.
Overton in for the last over. That's sort of, paddle up right up in the air. That's he's dropped that. Livingston, is that Livingston?
Yes,
that's Livingston, who's normally such a gun fielder. He has dropped that, and they scramble back for a second. That could hurt England.
Well, it's only the last over.
Yeah,
it's true, but that was anybody who's played club cricket. That is exactly what you stand around doing pointlessly for 20 minutes, one at a time, while someone whacks the ball a million miles in the air.
Yeah.
So he should have practiced that enough in his life.
Well, it went really high. My problem with that, so I always think this is a method issue, that they need to go with the hands up and cut and hanging off this ball.
That's lapped up by Akshar. That's going to be out. That is out. So Akshar doesn't survive the next ball, and he's dismissed for 5 of 4. That's 180 for 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, a drop catch doesn't usually cost you that much in the last over. Can do, but not that time. So Overton will feel he's doing his bit in this over.
Yeah.
Should have been 2 wickets and 2 dots.
Just quickly on that Livingston drop, what I was just going to say is, he should have gone with his hands up above his head. Because I always think if your hands are kind of at your chest cupped up, you do lose the ball for a split second just as it goes past your face.
If you're going...
I always prefer going up because I also think that then, let's say you drop it, you're more likely to have a second bite at it as it comes down. Whereas if you drop it in the manner Livingston did, it's going to go straight into the ground, and I think you lose sight of it. So I think they should be coaching the other way, really.
Well, I think I agree. If you're going reverse cup, should be over your head. If you are going to take it at your chest, you should probably do normal cup.
Overton in, that's going to be wide. And Salt has a go at the stumps but misses.
No, it's a run out at the other end.
No, it's run out. Run out.
Is that a run out? Yeah, that is. Arshdeep is walking off, or rather jogging off. Well, now he's walking. But anyways, that's 2 wickets in 2 balls.
It was an interesting one. It was a good piece of work from Salt because he didn't just throw it at the stumps. He threw it to the bowler.
Yeah.
Allowing the bowler to just.
I think he did mean to hit the stumps though.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm giving him too much credit.
No, I think he did, but you're right. He threw it in such a way that had enough pace on it to go to Overton if it missed, and Overton managed to.
It's all happening. I'll give this a quick jingle.
He called me for a single and my stump shattered. Do don't run, 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 do don't run, run.
Now, I thought, was that not a wide?
To be fair, it did look like a wide. Anyways, England are on a team hat-trick now. 2nd time in this innings.
Should have been one already.
Yeah, it should have been one.
Dropped the ball and then wicket for the bowler and then a run out.
Look how costly it has been for them now. Again, Overton in for Dubey. Dubey slaps it too long off, but does not take the single because he wishes to be on strike, as he should.
There's only 2 more balls though. I could see that one either way. I mean, what's he going to do if he does the same for this one?
To be fair, but these 2 balls are going to be sort of free swings for him now.
Yeah, I suppose if he goes .6, that's still better than transferring the strike, is what he's thinking.
Hardly matters at this point. Right then, Overton in for the penultimate ball of the innings, and that he's hit Dubey on the head with a nasty bouncer there. Dubey seems like he's okay. I think they're still going to bring in the physio.
It's a mandatory check, even with 1 ball left.
Yeah, there we go.
And we should say this is a really good over from Overton. It's the last over of the innings. It's gone for 2, which was a dropped catch. And again, Dubey looks a bit foolish when he turns down the strike and then can't get anywhere near it. But it's good bowling again from Overton. And the physio's just saying, all right, yeah, whatever, 1 ball.
Yeah. The physio's just happy to be involved. Who wouldn't be? Amazing batting from this young man. 7 fours, 2 sixes, 52 of 33, not out, and still has to play the final ball of the innings. Sort of India's saviour along with Pandya in this innings.
Well, I wonder if we get an exciting finish and this tight last over might kind of make the difference. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. And he's hoiked that too long on, and the ball just stops dead in the turf, and he scrambled for a second, and that
I think that's a direct hit.
Yeah, Salt's confident.
Well, they went for 2 off the last ball, as you rightly should, and I think that's a good bit of fielding because I'm pretty sure that actually was a direct hit from long off to the keeper's end. The decision is only really going to determine whether that's 1 run or 2. He's out. Yeah. Salt just watches it hit the stumps. Good bit of fielding. Great last over from England. That's only gone for 3 runs. And that's probably taken, 7 or 8 runs off the total. And India finish up 181 for 9, which after all the tremendous back and forward of this innings is probably about par.
Yeah, in the end, it's a good total for the home side. Well batted by Pandya and Dubey. Certainly were the saviours for this Indian innings, and it should be a happy dugout by the end. I mean, individually not so, but as a team, as a collective, they should be happy. And now it's up to the bowlers to restrict England as much as they can.
India will be delighted to have got to that total. You have to say they're in quite a bit of trouble, and have done really well. And this can just happen in T20 cricket, and it's the power of a team with so much depth and talent that India have, that you just feel like someone will inevitably stand up and make a score. On this case, a couple of scores with Pandya and Dubey.
Okay, well, we'll give you a quick break. It won't be long, I'm sure, but we'll give you some Who's That Weirdo to entertain you, and we'll all be back, I'm sure, in less than 10 minutes.
Greg Matthews, Alan Knott. Who's That Weirdo? Abdul Sidhu, Neil McKenzie. Who's That Weirdo? Dwayne Leverock, Shane Freed. Who's That Weirdo? Chris Harris, Kevin O'Brien. Who's That Weirdo?
Good
Good morning, good afternoon, good dawn, good dusk, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Guerrilla Cricket, and after a break of about a month for Christmas, we're back with episode 5 of Who's That Weirdo, a test of skill, knowledge, and overactive imaginations that separates the live cricketers from the dead cricketers and those who aren't cricketers at all but sound as though they ought to be. I'm Gorilla Hendo, Nigel Henderson, and today's edition matches occasional gorilla Kit Harris, the finest Richie Benaud impersonator it's been my fortune to meet, but more importantly now, assistant editor of Wisden Cricketer's Almanac, against the award-winning author, Guardian writer, and possibly Michael Atherton's biggest fan, Emma John, who've been trying to get on for a while, and finally she has relented. Emma, welcome to Guerrilla Cricket and Who's That Weirdo? How on earth did Kit manage to persuade you to come onto this orgy of chaos?
Well, he definitely didn't say that I'd be announced as Michael Atherton's biggest fan.
Are you not Michael Atherton's biggest fan? I thought that was...
No, I am. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. I just, it's definitely one of those things that, you know, now feels like it's become such a parody of itself that I...
Are you trying to disown Michael Atherton?
I get nervous about hearing it.
Is there a scale to measure it by?
Well, exactly.
That'd be the interesting
To
thing.
be honest, I know that I'm not his biggest fan because I've met Miles Jupp, so
Well, we've met Miles Jupp, not recently.
Miles Jupp is an even bigger Mike Atherton fan.
Really? Okay, well, we'll have to get Miles on this.
He's got kind of, you know, he's one of those people who remembers a lot of facts and stats, and he's got all the Athers knowledge in his head, to be honest, way more than I have, and I blooming wrote a book about, you know, that involved the man, and I'm terrible at that stuff, but Miles really knows his
Right,
stuff.
well, Miles will be our next target. He doesn't know it yet, but he will. If he's listening to this now, he will now know that we're after him. Now, your book, which you just sort of alluded to, was following on a memoir of teenage obsession and terrible cricket, and we can all relate to terrible cricket. When you said terrible cricket, was that terrible cricket from England in the early 90s? Is that what you were really referring to?
Oh yes, well, I didn't play cricket at all, so it wasn't
Right.
my terrible cricket.
It wasn't your terrible cricket.
No, my terrible cricket has only recently started because I literally never played until last season. I joined Stoke Newington Cricket Club, who are just up the road from me. But no, when I was a teenager, it was just before all the This Girl Can and, you know, all those kind of campaigns to get women into cricket. And even though I was absolutely obsessed with the game, nobody would let me play it.
That's really sad. I mean, you probably know Annie.
Mine was mostly my school. I mean, I didn't even know any teams or clubs, but I and certainly the one that was local to me was the Luton one was and possibly still is all male. But yeah, the school that I played, you know, the school that I went to was all girls, but there was a boys' school next door. And once I was really in love with cricket, I asked them, you know, could we, you know, we used to do the classic thing of in the summer it was like tennis or rounders. That was what we got to play. In winter it was lacrosse and netball, that was your options. In the summer it was tennis and rounders, or kind of athletics, which was always really embarrassing because that had also the worst outfits. And so I really wanted them to kind of, you know, maybe show us how to play cricket in the amazing facilities that the boys' school next door had.
Right.
And we were told no. And then eventually, when I did finally persuade them in sixth form, you know, we got one session, and the boys and the male teachers just laughed at us because obviously we didn't know what we were doing. So it was the most dispiriting cricket experience you can imagine, and certainly not one that any girl who went to, you know, who turned up to play in England today would find, I think.
No, things seem to be improving greatly in that respect, don't they? I don't know really what's happening at clubs. I'm not that sort of involved with clubs anymore, so I don't know whether it's really growing as much as people are saying. Anyway, have you got anything else in the pipeline regarding writing, books, or ideas that you're planning?
Oh my goodness, that's always the worst question. I'm sure it's lovely for people who do have things that they can immediately answer, but for those of us who kind of maybe aren't as organised, I mean, I bobble along, having vague ideas and then trying to work out if they will work, and I'm definitely in the bobbling phase.
It's always a good phase to be in the bobbling. Do you not think, Tony? But let's move on. That's an introduction for Emma. Let's talk about Kit, who he's just become an author.
Bobbling would be a very good name for a
have you
bluegrass
not?
artist, though.
Oh, true, it would, yes. Kit, if you're still there, are you still there?
I am still
He's
here.
still here. He is still there. You have just published your first book, I believe, which is called The Queen at Cricket. Tell us the idea behind this. Is this every game that the Queen has ever witnessed?
Yes, that's right. And along with, as it turned out, all the occasions when she held receptions for cricketers or really got involved with cricketers at all, according to the official records. And now, in fact, the idea came to me only after she had died. I found myself sort of casually wondering, how many cricket matches did she actually go to? And because I know she didn't go to very many football matches.
Right.
If you were the Queen, what would your cricketing experiences have been?
Mm-hmm.
We can all say, if we've been to test matches, we can all remember exactly which tests we've been to or which days or what happened on those days. So I decided it would be really fun to reconstruct the Queen's cricketing memories as a watcher. So that's what it is. It's a chronological journey through all the games that the Queen saw, live and in person, from 1947, when she first went with her father, to 2017, which was her last appearance at a test match at Lord's.
How difficult was it to track down those games? I mean, did you not have to sort of delve deep into old newspapers to find a mention of the Queen having been there on a particular day? Or was it through your access to back issues of the Wisden Almanac?
Well, as blessed and beautiful as the Almanac is, it wasn't terrifically helpful in finding the information, because Wisden is, of course, far more focused on the cricket than whether the Queen turns up.
Right.
And the MCC provided a list which it said was partial. In fact, Emma herself managed to get that for me.
Brilliant.
So then when I started investigating in the British Library, going through past newspapers, quickly established that the MCC's list was definitely partial. So, yes, got to work with the newspaper archives, digging up things like Surrey at Guildford, the Queen turning up too late for the game to still be on, so the cricketers all traipsed out again and had a county beer match, bun fight as they called it in the 50s. So, yes, it's a reconstruction of her cricketing journey.
You worked on that pretty quickly then. If you didn't do it until after she'd started on it, until after she died, and it came out in December, that's pretty swift work.
It is pretty swift work, and yes, I don't think many writers are used to working exceptionally hard for prolonged periods of time. But yes, it was quite a sweat to get it out, and lucky really that it having to write it didn't coincide with these last 2 months of working very, very hard to finish the Wisden Almanac, because January and February would have been a nightmare time to try and get anything done.
Oh God! Well, of course, that comes out. What about April? End of April or early May?
Mid-April. Yeah, mid-April.
Okay. And what? Can you give us any little quick, things we should be looking at for this year, or is it all hush hush and won't be revealed until the last minute?
Well, aside from the hush hush expectation, which of course we do like to have, I think what are now called Easter eggs, things that you open the covers and look in our Part 1 comment section and say, oh, that's fun. There are things which, of course, you can predict easily will be in there. Our coverage of Shane Warne's death and his life, I should say, more correctly. That's very, very detailed, and we've got some very good writing on that and covering it from a range of angles. This wonderful cricketer and all his great achievements.
Yeah, that must have been the biggest shock of the last year, mustn't it, Shane Warne? I don't think any of us could really believe that had happened. Anyway, so that's The Queen at Cricket. That's Kit Harris's new book. Have a look out for that. And just a reminder that Emma's book is following on a memoir of teenage obsession and terrible cricket. Let's get on with the show. The other man I haven't introduced to you so far is very patient Tony Bishop, sitting here alongside me, and he's just going to give you a rundown, a reminder for those of you listening for the first time, of the rules of Who's That Weirdo.
Tony. Well, yes, thank you, Hendo. It's all very simple. There are going to be 12 questions. Each comprises a person's name. Each of those will be either a live cricketer, a dead cricketer, or not a cricketer at all. You
just need to use your knowledge, skill or judgment.
Or you don't, because we're about to start play again, and I should be joined by Billy, who's going to do ball by ball, and messages.
Hello.
Hello.
Is this Salt at the Last Chance Saloon?
I don't know. Anyway,
he's had a pretty miserable series, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Sorry, my earphones weren't working there for a minute, guys.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how England go here. Phil Salt is in need of runs, you'd have to argue.
I'm going to jiggle him up whilst you sort your tech out. Here's the batsman.
Get up on there. So Salt, yeah, Phil is here. Want you to push it good into the offside. This goes once around.
And the first delivery is defended by him back down the pitch for no run.
And the bowler, who's starting the innings, is returning to this match. It is this guy.
And then this guy called Arshdeep Singh. The obvious jokes will be entertained here.
Well, Arshdeep will turn at the top of his mark and come in for the second ball of his spell, and England's innings to Salt once more. Comes in over the wicket to the right-hander and is chopped into the ground, where there will be no run. So how do you think England go about this, guys?
I think the top three have got to get some serious runs. I'm not sure they can rely on the method that India used to get the runs, which was Hardik batting low down and then absolutely smashing the ball all over the park in conjunction with Dubey. I think if Joss doesn't get a lot...
I do think that this... Yeah. I do think this isn't a big total, to be honest. I kind of think that 200 was probably a par on this wicket. It was just that amazing second over that stalled India, and I think they recovered well.
Well, there's a little bit of swing, and this is driven beautifully by Phil Salt down past a diving mid-off, and it races away to the boundary before. Yes, I agree, Messrs. It's a very good-looking pitch. Really nice drive by Phil Salt, head right over it, and I don't think it's a pitch that you know, it's very true. This is all about timing. You don't need to be overhitting shots. I think that's where India got into trouble, really, a lot of the time. And we'll see what Arshdeep's response will be. He might try and throw one a little bit wider, maybe a bit shorter. We saw England have success with the back of a length approach. This is Fuller, and Salt drives nicely down the ground, and well, he'll get 4 more.
Well, that's already Phil Salt's best score in this series, I think.
Yeah, really nice timing once again, this time an on drive. Wonderful shot by the right hander, just opened up his body and caressed it. No chance really for mid-on, you would have to say. It's a poor delivery. I think he has to go back of a length here.
Yeah, I think you're dead right. It's too easy a pitch if it's anywhere near the batsman.
That is back of a length, and Salt just defends that. His bat always comes from a very wide angle. Well, it's very high. Wouldn't you say, Phil Salt? And I don't know from a technical standpoint if that gets him into slightly awkward positions.
Yeah, it's sort of like second slip to mid on, isn't it? The arc.
It's just quite a high back lift as well.
So any ball that's coming back in at him, and then Arshdeep is bowling in swingers to the right hander, he could be in real trouble.
Well, 8 off 5. He's negotiating the first over well. And this is back of a length until Salt tries to cut, but it's too close to him, and luckily he doesn't get anything on it, so that ends the first over. England 8 for none. Salt's faced all of that over, and Messi, what's going on socials?
Well, not a lot at the moment. Leah's just come back from the break. Well, Stephen Kelkin said that I see now that Tiger Wood is also famous for a hello world statement, but the nerds were there first. Leah says, careful now, I'm a nerd and I take that personally. Do I need to mention the spanner? she holds power, Leah, because she is one of the moderators who have spanners next to their names, who can, at will, capriciously remove someone from the chat altogether if they feel so inclined. Fortunately, we're all very reasonable people.
And in breaking news, the new bowler is...
And in breaking news, Pandya.
Well, he'll come into the left-handed Duckett, and this is wide and slashed by Duckett. Oh, it's very close, just evaded the 45 to his right, and that will be 4. He went very hard. It was thrown out wide by Pandya, and India look interested at that, but ultimately Duckett gets 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And Duckett.
Yeah, you don't usually want to give Ben Duckett too much room. I think that's a decent ploy to be outside off stump, but it needs to be tighter to his body and see if he might edge one through. He'll cut at will. And this one he tickles round the corner to where deep square leg is waiting, and they'll trot through for a single.
Yeah, very much a bread and butter shot for Ben Duckett, that. If it's on his hip, let's normally work through square leg for easy runs.
I quite often think that going around the wicket's the best approach to Duckett, because then you can really cramp him for room, and he still wants to play that cut shot, and a lot of the time he'll play it when it's too close to his body. Whereas if you're going from over the wicket, if you're a right-handed bowler, then I feel like you're liable to giving him too much width, as we saw there, even though it was an edge.
Yeah, certainly if you're a right-hander bowling across Ben Duckett, you give him opportunity to absolutely slash at the ball and go, what, mad?
Well, Salt's facing Hardick for the first time, and he drives airily, but it's a really nice shot, and this will go away for 4 over kind of a squarish cover. Well, not squarish, yeah, over kind of cover region, lofted nicely for 4, and Salt moves on to 12.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
It was a little cutter from Pandya, and I think we can just about argue that Phil Salt picked it. But India going to the cutters early, something that we didn't see England do too much of. Hardick will come in for his 4th delivery, and this is an attempted Yorker, and England will not get a run as this really chopped ungainly to short mid-wicket.
It's very odd. That was slightly floaty, but it dropped right in the block hole, and Salt couldn't muscle it over and above the fielder on the leg side.
Messi, I don't know if you can look something up for me. Pandya is 6 wickets short of 100 T20 international wickets. I think if I've read that stat correctly. I was wondering how many bowlers do you reckon have reached that milestone in T20?
100 T20I wickets. Yeah. I shall find out for you.
Thank you very much. He'll come in again. Pandya, 9 off his over so far, and this is tapped into the leg side, into the offside rather, and Phil Salt will move on to 13 as point came round.
He won't, because he was sent back by Duckett.
Oh, he was sent back. Good spot, thank you. It would have been a very sharp single, and one thing England certainly don't need is a run-up, as the Mexican wave goes around the Pune ground. It's always wonderful seeing a stadium when the crowd is absolutely full, isn't it?
Yep, well, it's late Friday in Pune. If it's afternoon in the UK, it must be very late. Sort of 9-10 o'clock in Pune.
Well,
the answer to your question is
Hardick
20.
Comes in. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Hardick comes in for the last part of the over, and it's a nice piece of fielding. They should come back for 2 here, and it was pulled by Phil Salt out to square leg, and they do come back for 2. So England move on to 19 after 2 overs. It's a decent start. Go on, Messi.
There are 20 bowlers who've taken 100 wickets or more in T20Is. Tim South is top of the list with 164. Arshdeep Singh's nearly there. He's on 98, and Pandya is on 94.
Thank you very much. Are there any messages?
Yes.
Back
well, there's one from Blue Sky which I don't think was acknowledged earlier when we were talking about the perils of marrying someone who wasn't interested in cricket. Our own Katie said, I guess men have less choice, but I can't imagine marrying someone who doesn't share at least some of the cricket obsession. Otherwise, they'd object to you naming your children things like Benjamina Stokesett. That must be 5 years ago now. Is it, Katie? I can't. How old is your child now, Katie? It was a very popular name at the time, as I recall.
Duckett will face up to Arshdeep and he drops his bat on this, defending it better. Well, I don't think they necessarily would need to share my love for the game, but I think they'd certainly need to tolerate it.
Yes.
Which Katie are you talking about?
Yes.
Katie, Mere Katie.
Yeah, Mere Katie. Yes.
Matilda is the name of her child.
Yeah, Benjamina Stokes is her real name. As you recall, at the time, there was a lot of fuss around her. It may not be on the birth certificate, but we all know.
England on 19. Duckett will face up to Arshdeep and he bowls. This is on Duckett's hip and he flicks it over. It was a rather dangerous shot, but it looks like it'll run away for 4 and does. Duckett moves on to 9. It wasn't necessarily in control, but that won't bother him at all.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's more like a shovel pull, wasn't it? It just sort of flicked it up and over, and only just up and over. Like that.
Yeah, 132 Ks isn't very threatening on this pitch, is it?
No, it's not, but Archer went for loads and he bowls at mid 140s, so you know it's not all about pace. But I think India will bowl a few more cutters than England did, and spin will of course play a factor. Arshdeep will come into bowl around the wicket once more. This is flicked with much better timing by Ben Duckett over kind of to Cower corner region, and he'll get 4. That's a really nice cricket shot.
Altogether far more traditional. That is just whipped with the bottom hand instead of being shovelled, perfectly timed, and no, nobody within 25 yards of that.
A couple of deliveries and Arshdeep's first over swung, but there's been very little to speak of all evening, and definitely none on that delivery. So as I say, I think cross seam will be the member. He might think about coming around the wicket now. No, he will stay over. To Duckett, this one short and pulled nicely. That's into the gap as well. Duckett on fire here, moves on to 17 off 6. 3 4s in a row.
There is a 3/4 jingle, but I have to find that.
Right, England have made a blistering start here, moving on to 31, and this is kind of what we expected from this pitch, didn't we, Masses? You have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this is the sort of form Duckett was showing in the BBL too. He really was hitting it well there. Once he's got his eye in, he's very hard to stop.
I'd say I really enjoyed watching the BBL this year. Would it be fair to say it's had a little bit of a resurgence?
Absolutely. They made the very sensible decision to cut it back again to a decent length. And it's not about the quality. It didn't have a huge number of greater overseas players. It's about engagement by fans with their own teams, so they feel they belong to them, and being competitive. And 10 games per side is plenty. It worked really well.
Meanwhile, in the game that's going on today, there's just been a little discussion between Surikumar Yadav and the umpire about some certain aspect of the play or the captaincy.
It could be the ball, maybe. Never know, really. Duckett gets into a scoop position here, but he toes it to where mid-wicket scampers round to collect it. He just tried to paddle it over keeper and fine leg, but completely towed it, and they'll drop through for a single. So a good start from England. All starts off by those 2 nice drives early on from Phil Salt, and then Ben Duckett's got in on the act with a streaky edge of his first delivery. But so far, he's played quite nicely, and this is the thing, if you get off to a good start, it just eases the pressure on the rest of your order, wouldn't you say, Jason?
Yes, absolutely. England need to get on to probably 50, 55 off their 6 overs without losing early wickets.
Arshdeep will come in again, the last ball of his over, and then you'd assume he'd have a break. This is short, and cramps Phil Salt slightly for room as he guides it to point, and there is no run. So 3 overs gone. England 32 for none. Messes.
Jesus or Jesus El Coro asks an intriguing question. Does having a spanner by your name give you spannung? Excitement, suspense, tension and voltage. A Legacy Brian asked some time ago, how much did the bear collect on his bet for the run out? I don't know, but knowing the bear, he would have put a fiver on it, and he usually gets somewhere between 12 to 1 and 14 to 1. So it would have been a decent gain for him, I would imagine. Oh, we've had another super chat from Stephen Kelk. He's sent us €2.50 because someone paid for my coffee. Wicket, please. Good on you, Stephen. Bit of evening up.
Thank you very much, Stephen. That's very kind of you.
Oh,
Well, Varun Chakravarti, the new bowler, will
Yep.
come in with an extraordinary average of 14. So
It's the English destroyer.
Oh, Stephen says, oh, wait, I don't want a wicket. Oops, if England loses the series, it will be all my fault.
Well, I was about to say, and this first delivery by Varun is just tapped back to him by Duckett for no run. I think it's probably a good choice to bring Chakravarti on at this point. Duckett loves to sweep, and would be sweeping against the spin here, which always causes issues. Chakravarti coming in from around the wicket to Duckett.
He's also quite quick through the air, Chakravarti
Duckett
as well.
tries to give himself room and drives, but he can't pierce the infield, and there will be no run.
Yeah, he's of all the spinners, probably him and Axar in the Indian squad are best suited to bowling in the power play if they need to.
Yeah, I'd probably have to agree with that. It'll be interesting to see what length he bowls. Will he give it much flight? Duckett gets into a wonderful, well, that's a switch hit really, and it'll be one bounce for 4 over where point would have been an extraordinary shot.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary,
He gets into position to play that so early, Ben Duckett, doesn't he, Jason?
He does, but also, the fact he's getting half of it as a top edge is actually helping him in that respect to get it up and over the ring of fielders on the offside.
Yeah. Well, 36 for none, 8 boundaries so far, so it's been mostly all boundaries, and Duckett goes for a big uncontrolled swipe aiming over cow corner, but he misses it, and Sampson doesn't collect cleanly, but there is no run. See there, he's just tried to overhit that unnecessarily, Duckett, in my opinion. It was actually a seam up delivery from Chakravarti, which we've seen a little bit in the last couple of T20s.
Yeah.
But England now requiring it just under 9 and over, and you'd have to think that's a run rate that they'll be pretty happy with. Duckett switch hits one more, or reverse sweep, that was more, but it's good fielding. And England do, however, come through for a single. It's an amazing shot because I don't know about you guys, but even though it's so commonplace in the game at the moment, it's still extraordinary every time you see it.
Yes,
it
does
is. Yes, I
require
agree.
Amazing amounts of hand-eye coordination to have all those moving parts in place and get it to time it as often as they do.
So India are very tightly compact field through the covers, so it'll be very difficult for Till Salt to pierce anything through there. But they're all in really, so it does mean that he might try and loft it over cover, which would be a difficult shot to Chakravarti, but he does have the skill to put it off. They've got a deep mid-off rather, and a mid-wicket into him. And he faces up. This is given a bit of flight, and he hacks it for no run to mid-on. That will end the 4th over. England 37 for none.
Yeah, nicely bowled by Chakravarti. That was very floaty and full, but it was wide, and Salt could only sort of smother it up to mid-on. Messi.
So it's quite quiet on YouTube at the moment. Cheers. Oh, Chris the Choir. Of course it's Chris the Choir. Jesus El Coro. You are permitted to address me in more familiar ways if it's easier. Christ the Choir, or as Mog pointed out, it's Chris the Choir. Yeah, that is a lot easier, Chris. People changing their handles on me easily confuses me, I have to admit. And
Axar Patel. Axar Patel, the new bowler, will come into Ben Duckett. Have we got time to jingle him up? Well, he comes in and this is swept by Ben Duckett. That is a really nice shot. We've said he loves to sweep, and that's a 1 bounce 4 to greet Axar.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
Really nice sweep. Got his head over the ball, his foot to it, and swept
Just
it
the
with
wrong
good
length
timing.
from Axar, really. That's too full.
Yeah, I'd agree. Well, he tries once more, and Duckett doesn't get anything on this really, and it goes down to a short fine leg, and they'll run through.
Well,
for a single. England dealing in boundaries really here. 9 fours so far in their total of 41.
Well, if it's going to be hot, that's the way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't want to run the runs, do you?
That's a very
You end up
Guerrilla motto.
looking like Beth Mooney.
Oh dear. Maybe that's what the England women need to increase their fitness. Run between the wickets. Salt will face up, and this is driven down the ground, and there will be a single.
Yeah, don't let's go there.
Yeah. I get the feeling Salt's now getting into plan B, which is to take a single and let Duckett blaze away whilst Duckett's going well, and then he'll come into his own once Butler gets
Well,
to the
I
crease.
think it's a very important role and one that we saw in the Big Bash final. I'm trying to remember who's at the other end of Mitch Owen's partnership. Messi might know, but he played his role brilliantly because he was just knocking it back to him because he saw that Mitch Owen was on fire for the Hurricanes. Duckett will face up, and this is a reverse swept really nicely. It was turned into a full toss. Wonderful timing from Duckett, and that will get 4 more as he moves on to 31. Who was it, Messes? Can you remember?
I'm just looking up the scorecard as we speak. Caleb Jewell made 13 off 12, and Ben McDermott made 18 off 12.
Duckett reverse sweeps again. This is very top edgy, but they don't have a shoulder out there, and that will go for 6. It wasn't complete timing, but he got enough on it as he moves on to 37. India in a bit of trouble here, you have to say. Duckett looking good, 53 for none.
Well, that's not a great start by Axar. He's been targeted by Duckett, and it's been an expensive over so far.
But he knows Duckett's going to reverse sweep, so I think that's quite poor captaincy, to be honest. Just keeping the field in like that is just allowing Duckett to play that shot, and this time he goes for a little lap sweep, but gets in a very awkward position. And it was fired a bit fuller back to Optail, who manages to get out of that over with a dot ball, 15 from it. England going very nicely, Messi.
Clifford Bradford is with us. It says, I think we're about to change, aren't we?
We are.
It says, hello all, England making a good start. Pay the toll, says, good show lads, up the England. Stephen Kelk puts in brackets, not his personal real estate adventures, but the one to buy a palace for guerrilla cricket. Sorry, he'd asked how the radical real estate acquisition plans of the Bear are going. He's working on something to put out for next week. Conwajiro says, I'd rather listen to Billy Stevens than Jonathan Agnew any old time of the day. What a talent.
High praise indeed.
I shall catch you later.
Well, fans of the hashtag at this stage metric, in England are 53 for naught after 5. India were 37 for 3. Bishnoi is going to come into bowl. Is Abby going to come in to join us? As Salt thrashes that back past the bowler. Is he going to get 4? No. Fielder is around. Tilak. They will get back for 2, maybe 3. 2, I think.
Around
2. I think
Abby,
Abby was just finishing his late lunch.
Cool.
Well, I did raise this as a possibility that India would thrash their way to what seemed like a more competitive score, and then England would come out off to a flyer anyway. And Duckett in particular is doing that. He's got 37 off 17. Salt is just giving him back. That's rotten ball from Bishnoi, but Salt does not cash in. It was really short, and you heard Abby's oh no, because it was short and wide, but Salt battered it straight to extra cover.
Oh, that's one that's really got away from England there. That should have been pummeled for 4.
Well, it came on to a bit quickly, and you've got to make a quick decision to try to get over the infield, or else you just whack it and hope it goes through. It didn't that time. Bishnoi's in again. That's a better ball,
4.
And that's the way it goes. It's a better ball, and it's thumped past mid on for 4. Well, we were saying in the green room, Abby, that Adil Rashid didn't have a particularly good day, and India's spinners are not either so far.
Yeah, it's not really a spinning track, Pune in general. But, I mean, looking at Bishnoi's series up till now, he hasn't bowled well either. So, I mean, throughout the series, to be fair.
There's a lot of moving parts in his action.
Yeah.
Which he's got to get everything just perfectly coordinated to go well. Anyways, in now it's short again, and again Salt doesn't get it through, but it's fielder at extra cover made rather a meal of it. Surya Kumar probably thinking about his captaincy. I've done that many times, and they'll get through for a single.
That should have been another dot. But a fumbling stop.
And if it had been anybody else, the captain would have been disappointed, because now Duckett's on strike, who's really flying.
Yeah, now we can see the field change. Now we have deep backward square leg, and we have deep point.
Deep backward point for the reverse, yes.
And knowing that sort of he's been dragging them down in the first 4, as he does one here, and
Duckett is perfectly capable of smacking that one over mid-on. It plugs a little bit. The fielder is there. Axar just catches up, so he didn't get all of it, Duckett. But I think he was very aware of that field change, and when Bishnoi dropped it short, he knew he had a free hit over mid-on.
Yeah. I think the way Bishnoi's bowling, he's trying to get them to play into the square areas.
Yes, I mean, Duckett doesn't just have the 2 sweep shots. He's very proficient. He can play a slog sweep over mid-wicket as well.
Or he can play a baseball shot like that one.
Yeah, and he is absolutely flying. Last ball of the power play. He could be in trouble here. He's skewed. I must be out. Straight up to cover the fielder.
Yes.
Surya Kumar took a very exaggerated pose under that one. Bishnoi has the front to do a big sort of look at me Jesus celebration of a not very good over. But Duckett goes 39 off 19. Is a great start for England. He'll be disappointed not to take it further. But first wicket with the last ball of the power play.
To be fair, he just gave off 9 runs. That's not a bad over.
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad. And he
got away with a couple, yeah.
And he did get a wicket, so. Woohoo.
Made a bit of a meal of that, I thought, Surya Kumar.
Yeah, I thought so. Couple of quick things on YouTube. Doris Easy said Darren Stevens would have hit that for 12. And I think we all agree that. Clifford Bradford says, I think the GC studio would also use an Airbnb, to which Messages responds, that would be tough, Clifford, as there's a lot of gear involved. When you talk about the bear has lots of gear.
You've got to be careful with Airbnb. Spill one drink on the floor and they'll stick you with £500 bill.
Doris' response, there's plenty of space in Arizona.
I'm sure there is, yeah.
But we aren't there.
Well, you get rid of Ben Duckett, and who comes out? Joss Butler.
Captain Fantastic.
Yep.
Pryor ain't no loss, 'cause we found someone subtler. Okay, he can't spell Joss, but he also can't spell Butler. Joss Butler. Just because he's Joss Butler.
I must admit that the rationale of Butler at 3 is something that escapes me.
Why is that?
Well, I just think he's great as opener.
Yeah.
Go from the start.
If he's not keeping, there's no reason not to have him open.
I don't know if it's maybe just to accommodate other players, but I always think you should. I don't think you should move your best players around.
Get your best batsman in as early as you can in T20.
I think so, and Butler's now come in right after the power play, with 4 or 5 fielders back.
I mean, there's something to counter that logic as well, because Pandya normally comes down at 5.
Yeah.
And he shifted to number 7 today.
Yeah.
And
the question is, are you going to use him in a finishing role or not? I think.
Yeah.
Or are you going to use him in a role throughout the whole innings?
Yeah. Well, Axar is going to continue, and Butler goes straight for the lap. He's going to get that one down to long leg for a single. Now, Abby, you were saying it's not a spinning pitch. The Indian think tank have still gone with 3 frontline spinners.
Yeah. It's not a majorly spinning pitch. I think, but I did say it's sort of a confusing one anyways, because I think, as I said, it's a plucky one, right? So I think they're hoping for a few skidding deliveries in there. I mean, obviously, if you're spinning a ball, then
Butler leans forward to one, but no one's too excited. It should be a wide. It was down the leg side. For a moment, the wicketkeeper took the bails off and thought Butler might have overbalanced, but no one seems very excited about it, although they're probably going to check it anyway.
Yeah, as I was saying, it gets more difficult to bat on later on in the day, as the ball gets older as well. So, I don't know. That's probably what the management are thinking. We'll see if it will reap any rewards.
We will, taking quite a while over this one. I thought they'd just given up on it for a second.
I wonder if they're working out whether or not there was any touch on the body.
Well, it doesn't really matter for a stumping.
It doesn't, but it may change the difference about whether it's a wide or not.
Yeah, but you don't. That's not part of the review, though. I don't think.
You know what I really don't get is every time the bails are taken off, why does the leg umpire have to come over and set them right? Why can't just the wicketkeeper do it?
I suppose you think a sneaky wicketkeeper might just put them just balanced on for a 0.01% advantage.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, we did see something of that sort. In today's game, that was Sri Lanka versus Australia, where Angelo Matthews, the ball, it hit his pad and then rolled onto the stumps, but the bails didn't come off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That actually happened to me when I scored my first ever 50. I knew it was my day when that happened. That one's played to backward point by Salt and there's no run.
There's also, it kind of stops people doing the Stuart Broad switch the bails thing as well.
Well, a square leg umpire doesn't have much to do these days. He might as well get involved. Axar to continue, bowling to Salt. And England slowed down a little bit with the exit of Duckett. And that one is played back to the bowler for no run.
Yeah, it's the wrong,
he won't
wrong
be
shot
too
for the ball.
pleased seeing that one again. Duckett knows. And Salt's gone back and he's been bowled by Axar, who can fire that arm ball through. He certainly fired it through Phil Salt, who whacks the ground with his bat. He's annoyed with himself. Yeah, 23 off 21 isn't going to win many people over.
As I said, the skidding delivery.
Yes, you did. Yep. And that's exactly what that was. And yeah, as absolutely can happen, England were flying. 2 quick wickets, 2 new batsmen in, and it's a different game.
It is. Let's get some socials in. Billy Stevens agrees. Says Butler should definitely open the batting. Give your best player the maximum time possible in the middle. And Darazizi says that would be cheating and Australia aren't playing. Talking about things to do with bails, I think.
Australia are playing. They're playing Sri Lanka. They're not playing in this one. Yeah. Yes. I can't help laughing that suddenly everybody's available when it's Sri Lanka on a flat one and they don't have to send in a 19-year-old to open anymore.
And all their experience slightly getting past towards the end of their career.
Yeah, Kawaja racks up a double, yeah.
Fast bowlers can have a rest and leave the young, inexperienced spinners to do the damage.
They were lauding Constance for the way he accepted the fact that he was not getting called up.
Well,
the way they talk about him, you would think he invented batting, but
yes, that's true.
Oh yeah, he's a self-promotion artist in the style of Donald Trump.
Well, Harry Brook is in, and as we've been saying in the green room, has been struggling a little bit against the spinners. You want to give him a jingle there, Jason?
Yep. Probably the present rather than the future now.
No, I was going to say, yeah. Certainly in Test cricket, where he's breaking records.
Well,
is he quickest to 1,000 runs in Test cricket?
Yeah, was it 18 innings?
Yeah.
And no, only beaten for 1,000 runs in the season by Duckett, pretty much, for England.
Right, Bishnoi's going to continue.
Root.
Can I just say, there's no smog in the air tonight. I know my city pretty well.
Yeah.
So just making that clear before, there are reports tomorrow.
Well, that's good news. No one likes smog. Bishnoi is in. He struggled a little bit. That's a better ball though. Butler drops it out to deep point. There's a single.
Abby can confirm this for me. Is the thing about smog not that you can see it, it's you can taste it.
I haven't ever tasted smoke in Pune, so
maybe you're used to it.
And, oh no, come on, don't say that. I've been in Delhi as well, and yes, I've tasted smoke. So
okay,
yeah,
Delhi is worse, is it? Yeah,
Delhi's the worst.
Yes,
in that aspect. So come on, guys, you're in the mountains. Enjoy the
enjoy the fresh air. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
fresh air.
Bishnoi in again. And another better ball comes in a little bit to Brook. It gets the inside half of the bat and drops down to square leg for a single.
It's amazing how much a wicket can improve your bowling action.
Oh yeah. And this has certainly been a game that's ebbed and flowed. India
That was such a bad shot, though.
Yeah, Salt
cross-batted.
Has a bit of history for that kind of thing, stepping away and getting bowled by the spinner. And he's a man who's just never quite nailed his place down. I mean, he is in the Champions Trophy squad. He's always there or thereabouts. He's never quite made it his in the way Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow did. Bishnoi's in again. And that could be out. Yes, it is. It flashed away to short third man. Butler at 3 did not work today. Wasn't the greatest ball, but it hurried on a little bit. I think again you say it skidded on a little bit.
Yep.
It's a little bit quick on Butler. He got a thickish outside edge and it went horizontally to the man at short third man, and Butler is out.
You silly little boy, what on earth were you playing at?
Oh, indeed.
That's a skidder, isn't it? That's it's not really a leg break. That's
no. Bishnoi doesn't bowl a lot of leg breaks. His go-to delivery has always been the wrong gun.
Well, subfielder getting in on the act.
Yeah.
That was Nitish Rana with the catch. And England are now up against it. In fact, Harshit Rana, sorry. Getting my runners mixed up.
I'm just trying to work out who's in next. I think it will be the
Livingston, I would think, yeah. Well, they've got Livingston and Bethel are the only really two.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether they might
left.
push Bethel to 5 to get a left-right partnership.
It's possible.
That's another thing I don't agree with. Except for the opening partnership, why would you need an?
I think it's overthinking.
Yeah, it's overthinking. Yeah. Just send your best batsman in.
Yes.
That's what India did in the last T20, and they sort of tried to drag the game so deep. And the insistence on playing left-right combination, I do not get it.
Well, Bishnoi's got his tail up now, and he's got his tail up to the new batsman. Who is this man? Plays it back to backward point for no run.
I am Livingston. I play for the Lightning. My one-day kit is blue, but for the tests it's white.
And that's another good ball. Livingston is forward, plays it out to cover for no run.
Yeah, he's definitely settled into a nice rhythm now with those 2 wickets.
Yes, I mean this has been a game that's completely changed with that Duckett wicket last ball of the power play. England was 60 for naught, all was rosy, and now 67 for 3 coming up to finish the 8th over. And again, Livingston is forward, defends onto his foot, no run. Bishnoi takes a wicket and only goes for 2 runs, and it's 67 for 3.
Sutahu says, Costas is living rent-free in our heads. Yes, unfortunately, he's not.
Yep.
No, especially mine.
and rent-free probably in his head as well. And Darcy says, Darren Stevens is still our best batsman.
Well, it depends who R is. Might still be Kent's best batsman.
Ooh, harsh. But probably true. Given that most of the people who were good batsmen at Kent have moved to either Surrey or Essex or retired or...
Sorry, the Chelsea of cricket, except they actually win things. I mean in the way they accumulate players.
Yeah.
Right, Varron's going to have a go. It's all spin from here. He's going to bowl to Brook. Brook is down the track and didn't get much of that one, but he got enough. It flashed past square leg. There was no one there. Coming back for 2, and even that was an awful throw.
Awful throw, honestly.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't expect that of Rinku, honestly. He's a gun fielder.
Yeah, didn't get his throw right there, but again, a pretty uncontrolled shot from Brook.
Yeah, he definitely looks discomforted by the spin at the moment. He's not sure he's got a plan about how to play it.
He ran down the track at that one and he thought, oh shit, I better get something on this.
It's Banzai it.
That time is better. He goes for the sweep, puts
That's
it in the
4.
gap, and that's 4 to long leg.
1, 2, 3, 4, 4.
Well, he did explode onto the international scene, Harry Brook. He's maybe having a little bit of a sophomore slump. I mean, you couldn't keep that up for a whole career.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I'm not sure this is necessarily his best format either.
No, he's certainly well involved in the teams in all 3 formats, and there's not too many can say that these days. He is on to 7, so Varun given a bit of a problem so far this over, and Brook smashes that up to mid-off, but it is straight to the fielder who misfields it, but it's still only going to be 1.
Which do you think is his best format?
Test,
currently
probably.
tests, I think.
No, overall though.
This might be his second best format. I'm not sure about T20s. Talking about 50 overs.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to be a key player in the upcoming Champions Trophy. Starts on February the 19th. Short, sharp tournament, 2 weeks. As Varun is in again, and Livingston just tips it round the corner. Could get 2, yeah, bit of hesitation, but they
Good
get through
running.
comforting with 2. And another poor throw India won't be too happy with, but it was quite good aggressive running.
Yeah, they had time to even look at each other and say, shall we?
Yes, and in the end they said yes. But yeah, Champions Trophy starting on the 19th of February, and we'll be covering as many matches as we can. It's all quite civilised, a game every day. They start at 9 AM UK time.
Yep.
For some 50 over action.
And it's good to see that Pakistan getting a tournament, even if India aren't going to play in Pakistan.
Yes, mostly getting a tournament, yeah.
Well, they did until India started throwing their toys out the pram.
Yeah, I know.
For some slightly...
it's a bit of a hack from Livingston. He's got it into the wide open space on the leg side, but Rinku is round. It's a better throw that time, but they still get back for 2.
Yeah, I mean, the security issue that they...
Security issue,
yeah.
Well, I'm sure we can talk about that at length when that tournament's actually on. A bit of an ugly heave from Livingston, who also
Definitely
hasn't been
lost his shape badly.
I didn't think he ever had his shape on that shot. Varun up to complete the over, and again not very attractive from Livingston. Tries to go down on one knee, but it's a bit too full. Gets a bottom edge. Still 11 runs off the over, which is better, and it's 78 for 3 off 9, I think.
Sutu kind of agrees with me. He says, civilised for India that are playing a separate tournament. And Lockie 6 says, 100 from the last 10 overs should be easy if these two keep their heads. To be fair.
Okay, well, easy on paper. But
yep.
Cricket's played on grass. Mostly.
I've very rarely played cricket on Astro now.
I've played a couple of games on Astro. Yeah. It's I find it actually quite nice to bat on.
Yeah,
yes, it's very good for batting on. It's not great for bowling on necessarily.
Our university doesn't have a pitch. It has an Astro pitch, so it's pretty good to bat on, honestly.
Yeah. Here comes Bishnoi for the bowl, the 10th over. That's too short, but Brook had advanced before he released the ball, so maybe give him credit and say he dragged it down.
Oh no, that's.
You think he threw to the wrong end there? They got back for 2.
Yes.
Some of India's outfield throwing has not been particularly good the last 15 minutes.
Not particularly powerful either.
No.
Given the mid-range throws, they're like 45 yards.
So England trying to pick up every run they can. Bishnoi's in again. All arms and limbs, and it's a reverse which has hit him outside the line of off stump, so I don't think
I think he gloved it. I think he gloved it either way.
Umpire agrees. Yes, he's given that a run, and it ran down too short. Third man for a single.
Run is slightly energetic for the speed that ball was moving.
No, a run is a run. Look in the book. 81 for 3 in the 10th over, chasing 181 if I remember. Yep. Pushed out into the covers. They should get 2 here. He's put that wide enough of the fielder.
That's a better throw, sort of.
Yes, it was almost acceptable, that throw. But they're not really bulleting them in. You wouldn't see.
And as a fast bowler, there's a reason why you put on the boundary is because, well,
you'd hope so.
Yeah, you have a great arm. There should be no excuses at this level, at least.
No, I don't think you'd see it from Australia or South Africa.
Yeah.
Bishnoi's in again. It's full. Up into the open space towards long on. They will just amble through for a single that time.
I don't mind him bowling that length. I get nervous when he's dragging them down.
Yeah.
However, even if he gets a wicket out of it, luckily, I'm not convinced every time he does that. I don't mind him bowling that length, that one exact.
Yep.
Here's Bishnoi. It's a sweep from Brook that he doesn't get hold of. It cloths out into the leg side. Should just be the one. It is. As we come up to the end of the 10th over, 97 off 61 balls. Should be interesting. I think my concern is the way England's batting drops off after 2 more wickets, with Overton at 7. It doesn't quite give the foundation that to allow batsmen to play completely freely. That one is tipped down to backward square leg. The fielder kind of runs past it, Varun.
And I think this partnership will be the banker one.
Yes, with Bettel to come next. That's the end of the 10th. We're going to have a change. I know I'm still here.
You're here. You're going to be joined by Tony and the Bear, and Abby and I are going to vacate.
Okie dokie. Well, that just leaves me to freestyle while we do this drinks break. England trying to level the series at 2-2 and go into a deciding game on Sunday. And you know, although you want to win the series, I think a 2-3 defeat would kind of
Not
be
the
okay
worst.
away from home.
A 4-1 defeat would be...
4-1 defeat would not be ideal, no. Yourself and Tony should come in. As the Bear joins us, he's got a beer, and why not? They do take a little. This is the one time during an international where they slow it down a bit. They generally get through them reasonably quickly, but they have a good old drinks break.
Yep. Who's on? It's supposed to be me, Tony, and Andy. Oh,
yes,
three-man crew, and I'm doing some ball by ball.
Crew.
Always good. Always good. Where do you reckon? Where do you see it at the bookies? Have it at about even?
I think India would be slight favourites. I think was it you called it in the green room, Tony? You said it would be the opposite of India's innings, which it has so far. A very good start, and then 3 quick wickets.
Always the way in T20s, 3 quick wickets though.
Yeah, can change very quickly. But in England need 96 from 10 overs to level the series. They've got 7 wickets in hand, but you might argue only 2 of them are recognised batsmen, as in 2 more wickets will take you to Overton.
We're going to get back to some action soon, I hope. It's a rather long drinks break.
Yeah, they do take a little bit of time over that.
Well, Abby's knowledge was pretty much spot on, I can tell you that, in terms of it is more pace favoured as grounds go. 167 was the average first innings score in the last full IPL season. That was 2022. 55% of those games were won by the team batting first rather than second. And was this We Back Live?
No.
And let me think. Off breaks, economy rate of 7.5.
Does anyone bowl off breaks anymore?
Well, and an average of 26. Whereas fast bowling, near enough the same in terms of economy, 7.7, but an average of 23. So, unusually, pace over spin does have the best figures from at Pune.
Well,
which is quite unusual.
It has to be said that Indian spinners are doing all right. England have been pretty hopeless against them all series so far.
India know what they like, and they like spin bowlers, so they don't really care. They're going to play 3 anyway.
Can someone answer the door, please?
Apparently,
that must be our friend who's found us.
Yes.
So apparently, it just come up there that Rana is on the pitch because Dubey is concussed, which was presumably that ball that hit him on the second last ball of the innings.
Oh, well, he's... well, around the wicket is Aksar, who's into his 3rd over. Livingston just plays it into the leg side. There's no run. Who's in next? I can't even remember who's in next.
Bethel.
Oh, Bethel's good.
Well, he's had a great time of it so far. He only played in the first game, didn't he?
Yeah, and no one did any good in the first game. Livingston comes down the track chunks it up to long on, get himself a single.
This is also presumably Bethel's first full tour of India.
Yes. Hello. Our man has arrived. England at 87 for 3. Brook 12 off 8. Livingston 9 off 11. 95 required off 58 deliveries. Down the track comes Livingston. Has he got enough? Oh, that's a good stop down there. Didn't get enough to take over the boundary, but straight enough. Mid off, long off is pretty wide. And he had to come round, and he
got
he
3
jumped.
in the end.
Did they get 3?
I think so.
No, it says 2 there, doesn't it? Oh, was that the previous delivery? No, I think it was only 2. He jumped over the boundary and patted it back before he landed. So even though he patted it from behind, mind you, once it crosses the plane of the boundary, surely, because it's already hit the ground, so it's not about like a 6.
No, they still don't have an invisible dome like the one Gary wants. That's why Gary wants it to work.
An invisible dome?
Yes. You know what I mean?
So a plane, yeah. So the boundary is basically a plane, but it couldn't be a dome. It would be like a ring. That's cut though nicely by Brook, and he cuts it behind square and gets himself 4. Ooh, look, I'm doing
yes,
this as
played
well.
that very late. Nice shot.
There's not one boy for me. I must have 2 or 3. I need 4.
Yeah, dome means you can hit it vertically and get
I was
caught
just
and be
thinking.
out.
I was just thinking
and had
that.
scored
Yes.
6.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be a tube.
Wasn't there an episode of The Simpsons when they all get encased with
That's
Springfield?
That's the film.
Yeah.
Oh, encased in a giant dome.
That's
punched out to the boundary and it'll be a single.
That's the film we both say instantly,
Yes.
knowing more about The Simpsons than cricket, probably.
It's quite a good film. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's really four Simpsons episodes put together, but it's fine. Yeah,
exactly. Defended square on your side, and there's no run. I can't remember how does Homer make the dome happen? He does something stupid, doesn't he? Comes mayor or something.
He has the spider pig, and then there's a whole thing about a silo full of pig manure. I'm trying to put it back together, and
Your
something,
memory's better than mine.
something. They put a dome over Springfield.
Yes, I can't remember other than that. Is it me? Right. Suitor Who says Gary wants it to work, so immediately disregard it.
Yep.
Leah's saying something about food porn. I don't know if that was already dealt with, but she very smartly says, get over to Discord, because that's where I'm going to put the pictures. You'll have to be a Patreon to see it, which I'm all for promoting. Well done. I'll have a look on Blue Sky and see what might be occurring. Matty, oh, here we go. Talking of gun fielders, says Jesus El Coro. I was surprised to hear that the commentator on Guyana vs Barbados say that Gus Logie was the best fielder ever, better than John T. Rhodes. What? Thoughts? Well, my thoughts are no. I don't agree.
We have a new bowler, and it is Harshit Rana. And he's been guided down to third man for the single. Is he someone that we also don't have a jingle for?
Well, I did have a double disservice. I didn't just say it was Nitesh Rana. I thought he was a 12th man, but he is actually playing, evidently, unless India are pulling a very fast one.
Oh, no, it could be a concussion.
Oh, he's still allowed to bowl, yes. Okay, that's what it is, yes.
So it's basically, they've got rid of a batsman and got themselves a bowler. It's a bit like the IPL.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to argue he's an all-rounder. I think they can probably. I think that's fair enough.
What's his name? Harshit Rana.
Harshit Rana. That's the fella.
He's out.
He's out. Livingston is out. He's gone to guide that down to third man, and instead he's guided it straight into the hands of who's keeping? Oh, it'll be Sanju Samson.
Yep.
And we have to say goodbye to Liam Livingston.
The crowd says,
Well, he's not really having a happy winter of it, Livingston. He really saved his career from the Last Chance Saloon in the summer, last summer.
Yeah.
Well, it's catching practice, wasn't it? For
yeah, it was. It was one that you just angle the bat to give.
You know what?
People the catching practice.
We don't have a jingle for Harshit Rana.
Oh, that's on the list for our jinglers.
I can't find one.
Had a decent tour in Australia, didn't he, Harshit Rana? As decent as he played 2 tests, 3 for 48, and 1 for 69 in Perth. Not so good in Adelaide, none for 86 in the first innings, and didn't bowl in the second. Has taken loads of wickets for India D and Delhi though after the IPL. So he's in wicket-taking form domestically.
I shall search our Gmail, see if he's
Well, England's issue now is that they still need 10 and over, but this is
running
really
out of
their
batsmen.
last recognised batting pair.
It is. Well, we can have a jingle for this man. I think we can have a jingle for him. Where is he? For fuck's sake, this is really trying me today.
Jacob Nicholls, born in Barbados, now he plays for the English team. They say that he is an all-rounder, but that remains to be seen.
Well, he's in bet hell. Did you have any 18-game accumulators on for the Champions
No,
League?
fuck that.
I think the bookies made out like bandits from that one.
Of course they did. They'd all been very low stakes though, wouldn't they? Because they'd all been about 2,000 to 1 or something. That's just clipped round the corner. And there's a single out to deep backward square. Bethel gets off the mark straight away.
Yeah, Lott's going to... Brooks on 20 off 12. He's going to need to pull something out here. And I would suggest England are a bit up against it because if another wicket and you're really only firing fully from one end, unless Overton and whoever's next cast can prove me wrong, but I've been proved wrong already today.
Also, they're falling behind the rate a little bit. They're going around about 8, aren't they?
That'll happen as well.
Yeah, I think you can catch it up. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, Hardick went crazy at the end, didn't he, really? That's Hoyt by Brook. Into the deep. He has a 100, doesn't he? Or a T20 Blast 100.
I think he's got an IPL 100.
And he has got an IPL 100. That's clipped into the leg side. And he'll get himself 2 out to deep mid wicket.
That was very early in his IPL career, and he rather made too high a bar for himself, I think. So he's not in the stratospheric price bracket, although I think he is still out there in the next IPL.
I believe so.
No, he's got his 100 for Sunrisers against Kolkata Knight Riders last year, 2024. But it was his first IPL as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Clips into the leg side, gets himself a single. Well, he's certainly capable. Did he get 100 in 100? He also got 100 in the Blast, doesn't he?
100. He's had more ups and downs. He was Northern Superchargers captain. 34 not out, 6, 58, 15, 7 and 43 is 100 scores. So no, nothing special.
Okay. Alrighty.
Whoever's going to own the Northern Superchargers.
We already have the Mumbai Indians.
We've got. It's going to be the Mumbai Oval or the Surrey, MI Surrey, whatever they're going to call it.
MI Invincibles.
Yeah, MI Invincibles. I think is the plan, isn't it?
That's heaved across the line by Bethel, and doesn't get nothing through the keeper, and there's no run.
Well, as you say, it's another over's gone through for 5, and I do think England just have to put it out of their minds that they might not fully trust the batsman behind them and just keep going anyway.
Well, that was their plan. That was the philosophy that particularly Brendan McCullum was saying.
Of
and
course,
Josh Butler is just don't be shy, keep going. Anyway, let's see if who else has come on. I keep getting messages saying plan a date night. Funny enough, not from my other half, interestingly enough. Right. Oh, no, there's a few people. Bethel's jingle needs to be a white guy singing Barbadian Calypso.
Down a track comes Brook and plays it up to mid-on.
Wasn't that King Tubby was a white guy, wasn't he?
I don't know.
There's some quite famous sort of cod reggae singer who actually is a big fat white guy, and I'm sure people on Twitter will know who that is.
V No Name said is talking about cheating concussion. I think that is the slipping in of Nitish Rana, having seen that pace is more the way to go. They found a way to. Are we suggesting that perhaps Dubey's concussion is not as concussion-y as we?
No, I wouldn't think so. You might simply argue with the choice of who to replace them, but it's not like it's the World Cup or anything. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. Jacob Bethel reverse sweeps that one. It's, stopped, but not perfectly by the man at what would be short third man, and allows them to get through for a single.
I mean, there's always going to be a bit of variability in that. You know, people have slightly different roles, and one guy might be a batting all-rounder, and you might argue that his sub is a bowling all-rounder. You can get lost in the weeds a bit.
Aye, that's really just a half-tracker.
Beautiful shot.
It kind of does get what it deserves, which is spammed out to wide, long on between the man at cow and the long on. And Harry Brooks is going to pick himself up another boundary.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
And I do think England have to keep it in their minds that they want to score at least one boundary every over.
Yes, I think so. I think if they can go along at sort of 8-ish for a few overs, give themselves a chance to settle into the game again, get their eyes in. Although, he says, that one's the ball that's been getting Brook out in this series. It's the googly. But this time he chops it out to the man at backward point, and there is no run. 77 or 44 is doable. Very doable in the modern age. 6 wickets. That makes it a little bit trickier.
Yeah, it's the quality of those wickets in hand, isn't it?
These two have got to take it most of the way, you'd have thought. Slashed at by Brook. Again, there's a man, and a very short third man on the edge of the circle.
Absolutely.
They get a single.
Classic, run aggressively, just make the fielder look up to see what's happening, and then he fumbles the ball.
And then you scoot through for an easy single rather than a tight one. Well, Jamie Overton is next, and he's not a number 7 for me.
No, not an international number 7.
No way. Maybe in local league, but not at the top level. Passable number 8. That's cut by Bethel to the man at backward point.
Well, again, they did get a boundary from that over, but it's only gone for 7, and this game, and indeed the series, is in danger of slipping away from England.
Yeah, it is. Chakravarti's the leading wicket taker in the tournament.
No, it wouldn't surprise me. He's already got 5 from one game, didn't he?
And Adil Rashid's the most economic bowler. That will have changed after today, I suspect.
Should well have done.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't the most uneconomical. Oh, look. Tony. I think there's a double.
Fantastic. Oh, yes. I'm on it. Right. The fat white reggae guy is known as Judge Dredd.
That's
I remember
That's
Judge
the
Dredd.
one, yes.
I was going to say King Tubby is actually a very good dub reggae dude, isn't he?
Wasn't Judge Dredd always being banned?
Yes, because it's quite rude. Yeah.
Cut to backward point. They don't get a single.
And the other super chat is the inimitable, magnificent provider of comestibles to your gorillas, Brian in Brisbane. Afternoon all from bloody cold and wet Northampton. Is England about to win 2 in a row? We don't think so at the moment,
No,
Brian.
we don't think so. I'm just about to check what the bookies have.
So thank you to Philip Shaw, who was the super chatter who told us.
Indeed.
Yes. Yeah,
Sorry, Philip.
You've got to give him a name, Shatton.
read the message and didn't give you your names, Philip.
God
I'm so sorry.
Slower ball by Harshett and attempted cut by Brook. Good choice to bring on Harshett. Hey.
Yeah, it's changed the game.
He
Yeah.
has. He's got 1 for 5 in 1.2 overs. And there is no run. Where were we looking at? There we go.
Yeah, England just got to be
England
very.
The 13 to 10 and India 13 to 8 on.
I like India at those prices.
You know, things change so quickly.
Well, they do, yeah.
That's nicely struck by Brook out to extra cover boundary. There is a man out deep cover. I think it's Arshdeep out there, and he has to go round, which allows them to get back for 2.
But, you know, they can change either way. They can change even more in India's favour.
And if they do, it's between Shivan Dubey and Hardik Pandya, isn't it, for man of the match? I mean, they're the two that
that'll be it'll be a coin flip, really.
I guess you give it to Dubey, who was there at the end. But Hardik was the one who really put
I think he was, yeah.
Who put the accelerator down and changed the game.
Yeah, it was 50 off 27 balls, wasn't it?
Yeah. Arshit Rana is in into the pads. Wow, that's picked up.
It's a
very
hell of a shot.
sweetly. Fuck me. He's picked that up and deposited over long leg. That's a fucking crazy shot.
Not even sure how you do that.
I'm not sure how he caught up with the ball there, but it is.
It's not easy for me to describe that one. I mean, not that I play any shots similar to these guys, but that's the kind of ball I would just go, it's on my knee and sort of flap at. Somehow he's got underneath it and lifted it up for 6, and even Hardick's celebrating it for some reason.
Yeah, well, he's flicked it, but he's flicked it. If you see where it hit on the back, it came right out in the middle of the meat.
Just sprung off his bat.
Rana is in again, and this time he's gone over long off, and I think he's got
sure has.
That one.
Yeah.
Brooke is on fire.
But noticeably on fire against pace bowling, against which he's much more feels much more sort of relaxed and familiar in a way, I suppose.
Well, someone did say the game can change very quickly. It wasn't me, actually. I'm not.
Well, they've said it many times.
Yes,
across many sports. Noticeably, probably football and cricket.
All right. We've got a full Premier League programme tomorrow, haven't we?
More or less. I mean,
we've got a double header this week. I've managed to. I took a 4-point hit to get Gakpo in my side because he's got double games. That's slapped out to backward point, and he's got 4 off the last ball of the over. So that is 18 off that over. That is a good over for England, and he is. Going great guns is our man Harry.
Kids can't listen and you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary.
And that was after 2 dot balls. The first 2 balls, no runs, and then a 6 and 3 fours.
2 followed by 2 6s and 4.
And a 4, yeah.
Right, so 2 off the first ball, 3 balls of the over, and 16 off the rest.
Plenty of chat on Blue Sky. Jesus El Coro is lamenting terminology in sport. He's saying bloody end zone where a touchdown is rarely touchdown, and football where the ball hardly ever touches the foot. I'm not quite sure about that.
He's talking about hand egg, as in American football.
Oh, Lord. Oh, that kind of football. Damn right, yes. Right. Legacy ad Brian. Is that our actual Brian, or is that a different Brian? We don't know.
I have no idea.
Identify yourself, Legacy ad Brian. However, he says, looks like England are doing their utmost to chuck this away. Well, the game can change.
Yes.
But yes, they were. At the time you wrote that message, 100% we would agree with you. Right.
And it has to be said that our man Rana had a good first 9 balls and a pretty poor last 3. That was first ball, the next over. Bethel just knocks it out on the leg side, hands the strike over to Brooke.
Just what I was going to say, very wisely, just gives the strike back to Brooke, who's now on 47 off 24.
We're talking about the game changing. John Yelton, our old friend, win predictor, like sways like a crazy weather vane in the wind, says according to wind probability the lead has changed 11 times already.
Oh wow, that's swept well by Brooke. Should get 2, does get 4 in fact.
Dived over it.
Archdeep dived over it. Dove over it, dived over it, who cares? But it's 4 runs is what it is.
I think it could be either.
I like the idea of dove.
Dove, yeah, it's 50 for Brooke as well.
It is 50 for Brooke. Let's have a little jingle for that one too.
Maybe he'll take that man of the match crown for himself.
Well, he could do. Well, if he can win, yes, probably.
Yeah. Got there quicker than Pandya too. He did it in 27. Harry Brooks done it in 25.
Well, there you go. Just need something to go with it. Well, I suppose Duckett got a. It's actually quite similar.
If someone's actually flying, then it's not so difficult for the other guy to just give him the strike.
No, he's just giving it away.
He's outdone himself.
He's tried to flick it over his shoulder.
I said he was going to be man of the match,
and instead he's just plopped it down Archdeep's throat at short. Fine leg. He looks bereft with himself. Just didn't get enough on it, did he? Didn't get it fine enough. I think he was trying to get it finer.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by that shot against the spinner.
Well, no, I think if you get it fine and you just glance it off the bat, it looks like he got it on the toe end, though, doesn't it? Yeah, he did a bit.
Possibly did, yeah.
If he got it on the face, it'd have gone finer and quicker. Oh, fuck it. Well.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Right, so in actual fact, the innings have been very similar. we've got two guys who've got what? Duckett got 30 odd, and Salt got 20 odd, nearly 30 odd. We've had 150. They got another 50. That's the difference in the match.
It possibly is that India had Dubey and Hardik racking up pretty quick 50s.
And Abhishek and someone else got 30s or 20s, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So even really, we just need that second 50 off somebody, and one imagines it has to be Bethel.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a big difference.
Yes.
Brooke getting out, who was flying, and Bethel's only just come in. So it's going to be Cars actually.
Well, I did see that he had the helmet on. I did wonder whether he was going to be the man. We'll give him a jingle. It goes like this.
Stick your hopes of victory up to broadcast. Your hopes and dreams are flying at half mast.
Oh, comes down the track first ball. Defends it. Might get 4 leg buys here.
He will.
Oh, and he does. Great shot, sir. There's an appeal for LBW. He's come down. I don't think he's got anything on it. It's ballooned off his front pad over the keeper. And they all count. And it's 4 leg buys.
Well, it was a good job it did go for 4 because he rather stood and watched it
instead
of running.
Bethel was haring down at him. But that's useful runs.
So we're going to have a classic 50 off 5 chase. Possibly even nicked inside that a little bit. 48 they need at the moment, but there's 5 wickets down. I think there were 2 wickets down. Be a cruise, but if we had wheels and such like.
Exactly. That's hit.
Oh no, it's not on fire.
Not got enough on it.
Nope.
Bryden Cast has gone first ball. When he was out, he was sent out there to do that, one presumes.
Get out?
No, to try and slap it out of the park. He can hit it a long ball. Again, Jamie Overton can do that too. So anyway, fuck off for that one.
Fuck off! Just fuck off!
Got that a bit high on the bat.
Yeah, it looked like it came off the slice, didn't it?
On your bike, mate.
Oh, it must have been awful. It's bad enough getting out, but when there's 60,000 people madly cheering.
Yeah, it must be really irritating. But that's the game. It's 20 over cricket. 1 ball left. We're going to have a switcheroo. Who's coming? Tony, it's us 3 again. No, we got Messers.
No, it's not going to be me. No.
It's not you. Who's going to stay in here?
Abby can come in.
Abby's going to come in.
Yeah.
Okay. Okie dokie. Well, we'll have our last ball.
Bear's going to come talk to him, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to come out.
Whoever it is, I don't even know.
It's James.
I don't think I do.
Anyway,
Jamie
Overton.
If England win by 1 run, the GPL goes.
Oh, fuck now. Come on, England.
I don't think they're going to.
Make sure you get 6 off the last one to clear the boundary. They're defended back down the track. There is no run. 133 for 6. Tony is going to come over and take over for me. Messi is going to give you some messages while this all happens. And I'm going to dip out.
Clifford Bradford says 51 off 26. So not bad for Brooke. Beautiful shot, says Dara Azizi. Not with the... is Harry a chatty fellow, says Clifford Bradford. Not with the King Clifford. Not sure what that means. I was just looking at WinViz. That first wicket, England moved from 58% to 43%. The 4-leg buys took them up to 50%. And then all of a sudden another wicket, and they went down to 28%. It's anybody's game, to be honest.
You're following the swinging and swaying of WinViz, are you? Harshit again is around the wicket. He's been flicked off his legs by Bethel past square leg. They're going to come back for 2. They're going to have to hurry that 2.
Oh no!
And I think they've made it. Rinku, because I think the bails were flicked off by Sanju Samson before the ball had arrived.
I think he missed the ball completely. He missed the ball completely and then took off the bails without the ball.
We're going to watch it. It was certainly a high-risk second run. Yeah, he missed the ball.
Yeah.
It was an immaculate piece of wicket keeping, bar one essential ingredient, which was actually having the ball in your
gloves. Yes.
In your gloves.
Yeah.
Which made it rather interesting. There was a lot of the crowd, a very healthy crowd, I would say, in Pune, who thought that India had got their man. They hadn't. And it's 135 for 6. 47 off 29 balls is the equation that England need. That's an attempted flick. Might be a wide, although to me it just looked like it was over the top of leg stump. So Bethel doesn't connect. It's a vital dot ball for India. Yeah, they could have done with Carr staying a little bit longer.
I doubt there was any need for that shot, that specific one. If you had just wattled that for another single, got Bethel back on strike, I think that it would have only served England's purpose.
Well, it's quite right. Retrospectively, you can always go. There's no need for
would have, could have, should
to have played that shot.
Would have, could have, should have.
Anyway, it's 135 for 6.
Ooh, that's pretty quick. 151.
It was. Here comes Harshit Rana. Flicked
Slow
off his
one.
toes. He did slow it down a bit. It was clipped. Backward a square. Get a single. Will Bethel advancing the ball? Are they going to run on a misfield? I think they are. No, they're not. So it's 3 off this over so far. 136 for 6. It was a pretty wild throw from Arshdeep Singh, who holds up his hand in not a Elon Musk salute, but genuine apology for a pretty shoddy piece of throwing. To be honest,
that's my pet peeve. When fielders have a grin on their face, after they've.
Have you been watching the England's women's team?
I have.
They seem to have been smiling all the time.
Yeah.
I think they've reached a stage that touring teams sometimes do reach, which is, a fatalistic. Oh my God, what else can go wrong? You might as well just keep cracking through it.
Yeah.
Harsh it in. Oh, and that leapt up at Overton, who gets on top of it to play it down towards short third. They'll get a single, but goodness me, Harshit got some lift there. I'd like to see how quick that was. 141. Well, near enough 142 kilometres, but Overton's a tall man, and it caught it right on the top of the splice, and he had to be up on his toes for it to do that. Gets an appreciative nod from India's captain Sirikumar Yadav, and England move on to 137 for 6. Well, we've got 2 balls left of the 16th over. It's going to be interesting, Abby. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it could be. Unless it won't be unless Bethel gets his eye in
around the wicket
again.
And that's gone up in the air. I think that may be him, or is it going to drop safe? No, it's gone straight to that is Sky, isn't it? Is that Sirikumar Yadav who's underneath it?
Yeah.
It just dropped down into his gloves. Bethel, just as Abby was going, they need Bethel to stay there. What should happen at the very next ball?
The curse of the commentator. The curse of the commentator, guys.
He has been caught out at deep mid-wicket. He's gone, I'm afraid, and possibly with it England's chances. But we shall see. Wicket, wicket, wicket. Here you go. We'll use this one for a change.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Bethel, who hasn't really kick-started in this tour, to be honest.
Yeah.
Leg of the tour.
I mean, only his second innings in India, so.
Well, that is very true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Again, hopping on the cutter trend. Cutters get you wicket they get you wickets on this pitch.
Well, they do. You know Pune better than most of us.
Yeah.
You're native, born and bred Pune, were you?
Born and bred.
Born and bred in Pune. So you're definitely a local. Well, it's Jofra Archer. 7 wickets are down. Jofra can tonk it. Not his main role in the side, of course.
It's quite a lot of tonking to be done.
Ooh, nasty.
Bit of his own treatment in a way, because that was short and rising, and Archer ducked underneath it.
I think the Indian management will be, thankful for the concussion that Dubey has suffered.
Well, how fortunate. It was a wicket and 4 runs only from that Harshit over. So it's a terrific performance there from him. He's got 2 for 27 off his 3. England are 137 for 7 off 16, again chasing that target of 182. That is quite a long way to go. Messers.
Clifford Bradford is moving in on your territory, I'm afraid.
Oh dear.
He said if Harry Brook was a chatty fella, he'd be a babbling brook. # dad joke.
Oh, well, that's what we call David.
Steve Jock says
Ravi
Steve Jock
Bishnoi
says more dad jokes The more the better.
Ravi Bishnoi speeds one through, gets pushed that through, didn't he, outside of off stump.
I wonder why.
Too quick for Overton.
Yeah,
no run again.
Overton just, stepped aside for some reason. I think he was planning for something different.
Well, it was one that just shot on with the arm, really.
Fair to say Bishnoi deceived him.
In comes Bishnoi, flicked off his toes, only going to go out to mid-wicket. They will be able to come back for 2. Fielded on the slide. Takes England on to 139. But that run rate is climbing closer to 12 now, which tends to be a bit of a stretch. Possibly less of a stretch if you still had a Harry Brook or a Joss Buttler or a Bethel firing on all cylinders, or a Carse in good mood, but the two that are here maybe not. That said, Overton has absolutely smashed this over long on for a straight 6, so he's not going to go down without a fight.
Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6.
You can tell it was a good shot because he
yeah,
stood and admired it.
I'm not sure if this is the right matchup for Overton. I think
Bishnoi again, he's dropped that one short. Overton does step back again and cuts, but there's a man on the point boundary. It will just be a single. 446 for 7.
Yeah, Overton seems very comfortable facing Bishnoi right now. I think obviously Arshdeep's gonna come back for his remaining 2 overs, isn't he? He's got 2 left.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. I think for Overton, I would just bring back Arshdeep. I think even Rana has got 1 left. So I think between him and Arshdeep, they'll share the overs.
In skips Bishnoi. He's bowled him. It went that one. Googly, I suppose, wasn't it? It was
his trademark delivery.
And it was just, but he managed to get it to zip through as well.
That
too good for the likes of Jofra Archer, who's gone for a duck off just 2 balls faced. And increasingly, it's looking like India are going to wrap this series up.
You flipping muppet!
That is Ravi Bishnoi summed up to the T, because this is the delivery that he bowls exceptionally well, consistently elsewhere, and has been so wayward this series for some of the other reason. He's finally got 1 right, finally, but. Yeah, England's hopes are dying.
They do rather seem to be. I was going to look up Ravi Bishnoi. I seem to remember he's bowled a fair bit without taking too many wickets. I'm just going to have a quick look, see if I can find where his numbers are and let you know. Where is he? Our friend Mr. Bishnoi. Axar Patel, Jasprit Bumrah. Come along, Ravi. Where are you, lad? Here he is. Yes, none for 27, 1 for 46, and none for 22, his figure. So he's not been prolific in wicket taking, but he's got an important one there.
To be fair, he's got a 3 for this match, with just giving away just 28. So that's a good return.
Got ball to finish the over. 146 for 8. Adil Rashid, the new man at the crease, and really. All hopes rest on Jamie Overton, and I'm not sure what kind of hopes they are. If you have to find yourself saying that, he certainly can give it the long handle. Messers.
It's actually quite quiet on YouTube at the moment. As I say that, a whole lot of stuff comes up.
I'll just hold
Brian in Brisbane says, "Message speaking from the ether. Can Tony please fix the screens?"
Oh yes, Arshdeep Singh. Yes, Arshdeep Singh is in. It's flicked off his toes. They'll just get a single. He needs to connect more with that, but they've taken the 1 and they've left Adil Rashid with the responsibility. That should be all right. Okay.
Well, as Sudahu points out, he's a 10-time centurion, so never forget.
Well, yes, he is. I'm not quite sure why. I know why. Okay, because we should have 1 person on Zoom, and I fooled the bear by. There we go. But there's a layer we need to clear somewhere. Right, in comes Arshdeep Singh. Waited for nicely by Adil Rashid. Dabbed to short third. The scamper. Sharp single. Let's try doing this and see what happens. Having to tech whilst talking, not helpful. That's definitely not what I wanted to do. We needed one person on Zoom. Where are they? Why can't I get rid of that third chair?
Goodness knows.
Oh, you may have to live with it,
Tony. Tony, it's part of your shtick.
Right.
The tech Tony thing is.
Well,
is
Bear's
always
got,
there.
there is some setting that enables you to have the extra chair, but normally you want someone's arse in it as opposed to just an empty chair. As that one, they do take another single. It was slammed down the ground by Overton. They'll take a single. Message to the green room. If Bear can figure out how to get rid of the missing chair, that would help. That wasn't just now, was it? Have we lost another one there?
No, that was just a highlight.
Yeah, thank goodness for that.
Sudo said it's happening. This is it. I think that was after the six
not
and
anymore.
before the wicket.
For some reason, we seem to have the chair. I can't get rid of it. Whatever I do.
Don't worry about it.
I've got Messi's head appearing on top of a chair.
I mean, my head isn't missed that by too many people.
Arshdeep Singh,
Right.
In he comes. He's coming. Left arm over. It's pulled, but slightly mishit. And I'm getting fond and friendly technical advice yelled in my ear. Something along the lines of, what kind of idiot am I? 150 is up. Hardly something huge to celebrate from an England perspective. Overton has moved on to 12. Rashid has doubled his score, and it'll be Overton on strike. A runner ball this over, but they need 12. So if they carry on at this rate, they'll have only achieved half of that, and that run rate would have skipped further up again. And Overton, when he has got the strike and he's facing Arshdeep Singh, he's got to launch both of these really to get England.
Yeah, so these are sort of free swings anyway.
Minimum they need, I reckon, is at least. Well, he's got hold of that, but he's on the bounce out to deep cover. Fielded, and I'm afraid it would be just a single. Was that Harshit? No, it's Rinku Singh.
Rinku Singh, yeah.
It's Rinku. I like the sound of the name Rinku Singh.
Rinku Singh.
Sounds like Ringo Starr, Rinku Singh. It's got that sort of drummer sound to it.
Yeah.
Our drummer Rinku.
Yeah. Nice ring to it.
No, very good. 151 for 8.
Nice
Rinku to it. 31 off 13 is the equation.
A couple of points here.
2 runs a ball. If you're following and working that out.
And the rest.
Well, that would, that's true, and a bit more on top. In comes Arshdeep.
Oh,
Rashid has gone. Have some of them apples. He has powered that over long on, and I'm pretty sure it went all the way, didn't it? And my old eyes. I'm waiting for the confirmation.
I think so.
It did.
It did.
Why are we having to wait? It
did.
I think it got the sponge on the full.
Yeah,
but I can see why they think it might not have done. Yes. The more I look at that, the more convinced I am that should be 6 runs. And it'll be a dastardly BCCI plot if they decide it's anything else. But they have confirmed it is indeed one of these.
They taken the first contact, right, between the ball and the sponge.
The ball was on its way down and it hit the sponge, but it hit the sponge near the intersection of the ground. But undoubtedly, it was all ball on sponge before the ground.
Anyways,
Message.
George McPherson is with us. George says England have thrown yet another game away. England may as well fly back now since they won't get much from this series. Both the men's and women's teams have played awful. Well, there's an ODI series to come as well.
Yeah, don't forget we've got 3 ODIs to come yet.
Yeah. John Yelton says we don't know if Rashid can bat or not nowadays, playing at number 10 in the T20.
He's just launched that 6. This one's full and slapped back over Harshit's head. That's going to go for 4. So that's 10 off 2, which is where England needed to be. 161 for 8. 4 runs to Overton, straight back over Harshit's head.
Yeah, I think
21 off 11.
I think he should change his angle. Come round the wicket.
Well, the nerves might be just.
I think
fully over the line.
I think this just got a little bit more interesting. Yeah, see, I think he should just change his angle, not come over the wicket.
And Overton, these two are proving that they may not be your most preferred choice of people at the crease when you've got to really haul your team over the line with big hits, but they're both doing pretty well. In comes Harshit.
Okay, good
That's
ball.
a bit of an inside edge. He swung and he missed, and I don't think they took a single, did they?
No, they did not.
Overton turned that down. It rolled its way to Hardik Pandya, who's down at long on, and they could have taken a single. Now, Abby, what do you reckon? Because you've just seen Rashid smash a 6, and yet Overton thinks not running a single is the right thing to do. Where would you stand on that?
I mean, it's obviously a risky decision at this point, because you still need. I'll still take the singles and leave about 18 to get out the last over. The way obviously Overton is batting. I guess he doesn't trust Rashid enough. Yeah, I think he's sort of underestimating Rashid's ability to.
Well, yeah, I mean,
get anything out of the situation.
We shall see. In comes Harshit.
Okay,
well, that's gone up in the air,
that.
and someone's going to be underneath that.
Don't jumble it up.
Top edge, no, back into each other. England, well, somehow Sampson, and there was a man at a very short third. Not quite sure who it was. Who is that? They both went for it. Whatever calling.
Oh no, the worst fielder on the field. Oh god.
No, it was Chakravarti, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was Varun Chakravarti. It was top edged, flew backwards. Chakravarti set himself. Sampson went for it. Said, "I'm the bloke with the gloves. I'll have it." They banged into each other, and the ball plopped onto the ground. And I'll try and see if I can find it in a hurry. Let's see. Selected in play.
I actually don't think it was I don't think it was Chakravarti's fault. I think it was Sampson's fault.
No, it definitely was.
It was
Sampson's
definitely
fault.
a bit of this. As Harshit's in, it's driven straight out towards Hardik Pandya, who's down at long on.
Yeah,
take a single.
I do not blame. I blame Sampson for the drop catch. I do not blame him for the effort because Chakravarti is comfortably the worst fielder between these 22 players.
I take your point. However, Chakravarti had it in his sights. He was underneath it. It was about to drop into his hands, and suddenly, looming into his orbit came the not insubstantial form of Sampson to knock it out of his hands. So, yeah, I'm not sure I'd agree with that. Right, Harshit's in, driven straight to him. That's unfortunate for Overton. He really leathered that. Poor old Harshit is holding his hand because that would have stung like crazy.
I think he dropped that one.
I think he dropped it.
Yeah.
It's 163 for 8. It means they're going to need 19 off 7. Overton will still have the strike. But are we looking to see if this was a catch?
I think it was.
Harshit
just came back to him so quickly. Oh no, what are you? Okay.
I'm not quite sure what we're seeing here.
I mean, I think it was Rashid who was.
Anyway,
denying the single.
It's going to leave. Yeah, he was. Overton is on strike.
So Phil Shaw has changed his tack. He sent us another super chat of €5.99 euros, and says more runs. He reckons he can pick.
He's got the power. That's going to be 4. Oh
no, that's
not. He's bowled him.
4 wickets.
How did that happen? Okay, it was an inside edge. The ball, in fact, went down to the fine leg boundary, but had hit the wickets on the way. And with that, you sense all hope is lost.
No, we still have Rashid on the crease. So.
Well, you've got Rashid, and it's going to be who's going to come in last? Knocking Zen Saqib, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's played on. He played on, but the ball went flying down to the boundary at such speed. Anyway, Hashit Rana has done the job. Pace again at Pune, Abby. Yeah. Pace at Pune. That's what the stats have said, and they're being proved right pretty much today.
You might have given me the headline.
Pace at Pune does it again.
Yeah. Or something like pandemonium at Pune.
Well, I don't know if it's pandemonium, but it's definitely that's what the stats tell you. Anyway, Overton has gone. It's 163 for 9 England. 19 off the final over. Might be doable with some, but a combination of Mahmood and Adil Rashid aren't necessarily the pair most likely to do it, I don't think. In fact, anybody who's a betting person would probably consider the odds there very long indeed. the fickle finger of WinViz, I would imagine, is probably hovering around about 98% in India's favour at the moment.
99, 1% draw, 0%
Oh, well, about 98, and it was 99, so I wasn't far off. Right, in comes Arfdeep Singh. He's been slapped over his head, but there's a man there. Who's that with the lustrously long hair?
Tilak. Yeah.
Well, Tilak.
I wish I had
just a
his
single.
locks.
Well,
all of us do.
He won't be getting his hair cut in Claygate, I'll tell you that, because my barber's just gone and retired. It's upset my whole world.
Oh dear. Well, I haven't been to a barber's in 20 years, Tony, and you don't need one.
Right, 164 for 9. 18 off 5. So basically, you got to hit sixes. And you're bowling to Saqib Mahmood, who's going to face his first ball. And I don't know what his six-hitting prowess is like. We're about to find out. Well, he's slapped it, but he's slapped it straight down to long off. They'll just take a single. Makes it 17 off 4. A 4 ball doesn't do it. They're going to have at least 1 6 in the mix.
Or a super
Ain't going to
over.
happen. Oh, well, yeah. Even getting to a super over would be 16. That's true.
And Brown in Brisbane sent us another $2. Says another Tonyism. 4 runs. Oh no, bold.
165 for 9. In comes Arfdeep Singh. Left arm over. Full. Driven on the up, but on the bounce to, as we've already established, the lustrously coiffured Tilak, who fields just a single. 16 off 3. And the fat lady,
the more I look at his
is
locks,
singing.
the more jealous I get.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's 1 or 2 Indian players who look quite magnificent in terms of the hair department. 166 for 9. Can Mahmood do something extraordinary? Well, he's had a go, but he's clothed it,
and that's
straight
game, set,
to deep mid wicket
and match.
Comfortably taken. Game, set, and match taken by, was that Chakravarthi, our friend Chakravarthi, you can't catch? Who clearly can.
I would not place Chakravarthi at deep mid wicket even if my life depended on it.
India, anyway, have won in the final over with 3 balls to spare by 15 runs. So they will wrap up this IDFC First Bank series by 3 matches to 1 with a match to spare. So we're in dead rubber territory on Sunday. That's not to say it won't still be quite entertaining. Hugs and congratulations all round. In fact, Adil Rashid seems to be in the middle of some of those hugs.
Yeah, when is the last T20I?
Sunday.
Oh, and today is Friday. Oh yeah, because it's not Mumbai is only 150 kilometers away, so I guess they won't be travelling for long. Anyway,
no, okay.
So
I knew that conversation was going somewhere. You were trying to work out the transfer.
Yeah, because Mumbai and Pune are quite close together. So
it's almost like someone had thought about the schedule in terms of where they play the matches, isn't it?
Well, I'm glad Mumbai gets a T20 as well.
Well, fireworks are going off all over the Maharashtra Cricket Association Stadium, which is a very fine-looking structure, I have to say. India have wrapped up this series in the end, I'd say, in quite convincing fashion. After the start, though, gentlemen, that England got off to with a unbelievable second over, where Saqib Mahmood bowled 3 of the not best balls in the world to take 3 wickets, and took a maiden over with 3 wickets, a 3-wicket maiden. Probably the turning point, you'd have to say, was Hardik Pandya's 50 off 27.
Yep. I mean, let's give Dubey his, credit where credit is due.
Well,
they steadied the ship for India. So
Sharma made 20 odd. Rinku Singh chipped in with his 30 off 26. Shivam Dubey, though, also with his 53 off 34. So he and Pandya, as you rightly say, really started to take the game away from England, who couldn't really control the last 6 or 7 overs. Saqib Mahmood 3 for 35. Well, in reality, off 4. But that's none for 35 off 3, which doesn't sound quite so good. Bryden Cars 1 for 39, not quite at the races in the same way as usual off his 4. 2 for 32 for Overton, didn't do so badly. Adil Rashid, not his best day at work, it has to be said, 1 for 35 off his 4. England started well. Salt and Duckett, they looked in great order. They reached in the power play. They nearly got through the power play.
Wicketless.
62, but then they lost a wicket off the very final ball of the 6 over. But after that, Harry Brook, he found that he could play spin today, but he made more of his runs, it must be said, off the pace bowling. Although Varun got him again in the end, caught in the deep by Arshdeep Singh. After that, it was a little bit of a procession. Livingston, Bethel, Brydencast, only second ball. Overton, a belligerent but all too brief 19. Second ball duck for Archer, 10 off 6 for Adil Rashid, and 1 at the end for Saqib Mahmood. Bowling honours, 3 for 28 for Ravi Bishnoi, 3 for 33 for Harshit Rana, 2 for 28 for the terrific Varun Chakravarti, who's really bamboozled England this series and probably will continue to do so on Sunday. 1 for 35 for Arshdeep Singh, a 15-run win. Messers, do we have some final messages on all various channels?
Yeah, Muttley, who was multi-skilling, he had the gorillas on one screen, CCTV of the front door on the next, and the GPS of the Amazon driver on the third. Said, many thanks, gorillas. It's the hope that kills. Oh, bloody YouTube's playing up on me again. Sorry, it's completely frozen on me. So there are a few people I know had said thank you and good night. We look forward to seeing you again on a Sunday.
We certainly do. I'll see if I can find you just those last messages before we go on my YouTube screen. Let's have a look.
Oh, I've got it back now. Okay. Philip Shaw wants a refund. He says, do I get my money back now? It's this last super chat didn't work. Great to be involved and a pleasure as always. Ravi Natarajan says, India wins the T20 series. Thanks for playing England. V No Name says, why is no one talking about baseball?
Did you read out Pirate Badshaw's suggestion for Abby's headline for a match account? Pune perplexity pickles players perfectly. I'm not actually suggesting you take that one seriously.
I'm not much for alliteration, but that's a bit much.
That is a bit much. That's Peter Piper pickling too many pickled peppers, isn't it, to be honest? Right, we're going to love you and leave you. It's well done, India. Probably, arguably a fair result in the end. They've just been that little bit stronger. They've nailed the series 3-1. There is one still to come. There are 3 more ODIs. And then it's a little breather before we launch into the excitements of the Champions Trophy. We've enjoyed your company. It's goodbye from all of us who have been on today.
Goodbye.
Just one thing before we go, Tony. A reminder that if people want to see the wrap-up of today's play in the Women's Ashes, it's on our YouTube channel, the Gorilla Roundup, and there'll be another one tomorrow night from Toby, who's at the MCG. He does a terrific job covering that. And he also writes a daily wrap on the Gorilla Cricket website, so just keep an eye on that.
Indeed, he's doing so. Where Hector was our star in New Zealand, Toby Stevens is our man for the Women's Test Series, and he's doing a sterling job. Right, indeed. We are going to love you and leave you. We really are going this time. See you Sunday. Take care.
Bye bye.
Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us 'cause